Hey, Podnutzians. Welcome to Android App Addicts. This is episode 601. And that's not why this is an important episode. This is an important episode because the Patreon for today's episode is Joshua Dennis.
Oh, wow.
Big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks to
Does
you.
he pay in
And
Bitcoin?
I can't tell yet. Maybe he does. Which means I might have got $30,000. Thanks to him and people who stand by me, we are able to continue to not only have domains that are paid for, but I found some unused. Let me rephrase this. I found some unreclaimed money that I accidentally left sitting there for like 3 years. So I have a brand new Ryzen desktop computer over there in pieces, but it's not yet together. So when that gets put together, editing should take 2 minutes, maybe. I mean, compared because this is now is like a 7-year-old computer, 8-year-old computer. So yeah, it should be lightning fast. So we're looking forward to that, which should make everything smoother, better, easier, stronger, faster, $6 million man kind of thing.
Where did you find this money?
It was in a Patreon account that I did the show The Makers with, and everyone on the show said they wouldn't take any money. I said, well, then screw you, neither am I. So then, but they told me to make the Patreon. So I made the Patreon, and then my wife complained that the 1099s were the things that got us audited by our friendly neighborhood IRS. So then I said, fine, I'll log into everything that could possibly send me a 10. Oh man, there's $900. There's $900.
Wow.
And I turned to her and I said, this isn't going to affect our taxes till next year. So you don't got to worry with this. Yeah.
Did you find it? You didn't find it down the back of the couch then?
No, that couch is like, dude, the couch we have is more expensive than our bed. And what I mean is our mattress and our bed was $300. The couch she bought was $5,000. Ain't no money in those couch cushions. That thing sucked it up.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much couches cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. It's now May. Welcome to Ivor's beginning of winter and everybody others beginning of...
I'm wearing my lumberjack shirt.
Yeah. Today
nice
in...
and cool and warm.
Yeah, today in Bmore, it was 91 degrees. Not fun. Not fun, especially because that damn bridge that fell down has completely ruined my commute to the point to where I'm literally tempted to quit my job, just outright quit my job. Traffic is now so bad. But
Work from home.
They won't let me. 2 days a week is all they'll let me.
Man, you got, 4 years left till you retire?
2 years and 5 months.
Yeah, well, there you go. What are they going to do?
I don't know. I'm just... like George, can't stand you. Serenity now. Oh, but I digress. So how is everything south of the equator, Ivor?
Oh, really good. Really good. I'm sitting in my new room, my studio. I have my music instruments over there, otherwise known as guitars. And I've got a larger table where I can fit all my devices on. So everything fits, and my printer, and I've got my Plex server, and I've got my laptop, and I've got all sorts of things, and it all fits together. It's fantastic. I just got back last month from a fortnight whirlwind trip around the North Island. I think we visited about 12 different tourist attractions with my cousin from Exeter in the UK. And so we did a lot of driving around the North Island. The highlight for me, of course, was the Colin Meads Rugby Museum. Colin Meads, in case you don't know, is one of our more famous rugby players. And there's a statue of him outside in the square of his hometown, alongside the museum, where you can go and see all his feats and achievements. And of course, next to that was Hobbiton, which was in Matamata. Man, even if you've never seen the Lord of the Rings movie in your life,
right?
You have to go to Hobbiton. It's just fantastic. Weta Workshop has spent a year designing and building completely detailed Hobbit home. And it is incredibly detailed, fantastically detailed. You can walk around in it, you can touch everything, take photos. You can lie on the beds. You can. They've got a fire burning in the fireplace. They've got an oven with bread, fresh baked bread on it, and it goes through a whole. And yes, Eric, they do wear flannel shirts, and it's just. I was just completely blown away. Absolutely incredible.
Well, first off, Josh, calm down. I know you said you can touch anything, but you need to relax for a second. You say you have this huge desk that can fit everything. Can it fit like every phone you have? Because if you do, that's a gigantic desk.
That is big.
Not every phone I have. No, they're in my safe.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did see a couple of pics you sent from that place, and I love the fact that they built it for the movie stuff, but they kept it around, and now they're literally like making sure it's upkept.
Yeah, well, actually, within the first lot of movies, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, they destroyed it all after that.
Oh, really?
They pulled it all down and got rid of it. And then they had to rebuild it all for the Hobbit
movie
movies. And so they that scene where the Green Dragon is burning, and you've got all the orcs running around killing all the hobbits. This is in Galadriel's glade, where Frodo's having a view of the future, what the future could be. Well, when you see the when you see the pub burning, it's actually burning. They actually burnt it down. And all the orcs they were running around were actually firemen. So they got the firemen to dress up as well. Anyway, but it's the whole tour is like full of stuff like this that you didn't know before. But anyway, they rebuilt it for the Hobbit and decided instead of pulling it all down, they turned it into a tourist attraction, and that's what it is today. But man, if you're ever down my end of the world, you've got to go to this place. Absolutely fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool. Josh, how has your outdoor adventures been?
Pretty well. Yeah, just sort of slowed down on doing computer work and finished that hellacious project that I had going on. So that was good. And now going forward, it'll just sort of be ad hoc, and I'll quote whatever I want for a price to do it.
Right.
If they say no, whatever, cool.
Well, you always set your price to where you don't want to do the job, but if they do want you to do it, they're going to have to pay.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm kind of transitioning into being a farmer, so I was hoping that Ivor would let me borrow his shirt. Yeah. So
one is a straw hat and a piece of grass sticking out of my mouth.
No, the real important question is, excuse me, Josh, but do you have a hoe?
Yes, but don't tell her I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if Ivor, if your wife is your cousin, that would help.
Wait a minute, he's not in West Virginia; he's in New Zealand.
Yeah, well, he thought West Virginia was bad.
Oh.
So yeah, I've been.
No, that's Australia. Australia's worse with that sort of thing.
Moving on. I've been planting trees and working on garden beds and things like that. So I've got one area which is probably, I don't know, 20 feet by 40, 20 by 30, 30 by 30, something like that. And inside that area, I've put an apple tree, a plum tree, mixed fruit, which is like I don't know what it is, some sort of stone fruit that's never done anything. And then I just put a mulberry, a peach, an apricot, a nectarine, hascaps, some sort of Chilean guava plant, some strawberries and some asparagus. And, there's a cherry tree.
What kind of plum tree is it?
I don't know. It was one that was given to me several years ago that I neglected, and it was from someone around here, and they said it grew really well. So I think there's
because if you want to get any fruit off it, I think you need two. If they're most plum varieties now are Japanese or Asian, so if you've got any Asian plums, you need two and you need another Asian plum. Doesn't have to be the same type. You just need another Asian plum for it to germinate properly.
Germinate,
I don't know why.
Yeah, I thought that that plums and peaches could also cross-pollinate. Like the stone fruit seem to be, as long as they're flowering at the same time, then you can get some cross-pollination, I believe.
Right.
So what we
yeah,
did, we started to hide. Oh, go ahead.
I just got a mate who runs a plant nursery, and we went and got a plum tree off, and he said, "Oh, you really need another one because that's a Japanese plum. If you don't have another Japanese plum, then you won't get any fruit off it."
That's called upselling, Ivor.
Yeah. I think I got had. Anyway, this is Android app addicts, not plum tree addicts.
Well, and I got to comment. The one thing I know for a fact, mulberry. We had a mulberry tree right up front of my childhood house, and I know mulberries are only good for one thing: to be cut up and turned into the girl sport with the ball. I can't remember what it's called. Where they use mulberry wood as the sticks. They're like sticks with little hooks on the end.
Is that
hockey.
Field hockey?
Yeah. Field hockey. Yeah. That's the only thing good for it, because the berries will stain everything in existence. They stain everything. And two, if you eat just a couple of them, you don't have to worry about a colon cleansing, is the way I'll put it. Right through you. Mulberries will go literally right through you. You need yourself a good colon cleanse, and you get yourself some mulberries and you put it into a pie or something, and you can't leave the house for like 24 hours.
You have to let Eric know about that.
Speaking of that type of a situation, we went down to Victoria, not Australia, British Columbia, and stayed with.
You dodged a bullet then.
Yeah. And we were there for a couple days, and then we came home, and our upstairs toilet decided that it wouldn't flush. And so it went all the way to the top with number 2 juice. And tried to, we have a drain snake. Get your hands down in there.
Welcome home.
And then you got these, like, the dish gloves, the yellow rubber dish gloves.
The Mr. Mom gloves, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you're sitting there working it for a little while, and then all of a sudden you feel liquid on your finger. Like, uh-oh, that's not good. And then, so ended up buying what's called a closet auger, I think.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a new house. Sorry.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I said. That's the first thing I thought.
I would be, yeah.
But this is it has a hook on the end as well, and it goes in to the toilet, and then you put the snake through, and it blasted the turd right out of there straight away.
So it was your son. He's the one that stuffed the toilet?
It was that was what I was flushing. Was
wow.
His deuce.
Dude, well, he's already a man.
Yeah, I think we need to give him some more mulberries. How about you, Dor? Give us a story.
Trying to stay sane. Oldest son is supposedly joining the Air Force if he could stop sleeping till 4 p.m. The youngest one is 16, and I'm pretty sure he's failing school this year. Lesson learned for him. He's going to have to do the 10th grade, I'm pretty sure, over again. But he told me about he said it was a wicked fight in school today. It was 2 girls, and they were really trying to punch each other. Okay. Anything else happened in school? No. Oh, I took a test. I think I passed. I looked at his thing. He got an E.
He got an A?
An E. E. An E is an empty.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it means he failed that test.
Oh, the E.
One up from an F.
Yeah, I know. I always wondered when I was in school where the E went.
Yeah. We're in Maryland. We have A, B, C, D, and E, and he got the E.
Really?
At least
F?
No F. but he put his name on the paper correctly, so I'm sure that counted for something. But yeah, that just working, trying to do my best to not devote too much life juice to the place I'm quitting in 2.5 years. Already just trying to think about future possibilities kind of thing to keep myself busy, active kind of thing. And sooner or later I'll build that computer and it will make stuff easier. I almost forgot to buy Arctic Silver though, which was really stupid.
Oh, is that
Arctic Silver.
is that the paste?
Yeah.
The heat?
Oh, yeah.
Motherboard, processor, paste, heatsink. Yeah, keep all nice and cool.
I've been putting so I finally went viral, which I've been trying to do for years, but it turns out it was an ear infection. So I've been putting this colloidal silver into my ears. It's supposed to kill the bacteria. It's not apparently I didn't know what going viral meant, so I could do without it. To tell you the truth, I'm going to stop trying.
Well, it could be worse. You could have an iPhone. Did I tell you about the guy that rear-ended me? Okay, gather around, chitlins. I one night couldn't sleep, so I literally woke up at 4 a.m. and I thought, look, I'm just going to go into work early. I can't actually clock in till 7, but I don't care. I'll go in at 5 and I'll just start doing work so I can catch up on stuff. So the rest of the day I can slack. You know what I mean? That was my logic. So I get up, I pet the cat, give the cat a little treat, go get my food ready, get the water ready, get in the car, start to go to work, and I realize I need to get gas. So I'm halfway to work. I said, I'll stop at this local convenience store and get gas. I realized when I was getting gas, I pulled into a weird place. I passed up for some reason 10 gas pumps, whatever. And so I went there and got gas. Then when I left, I said, well, I'm going to go all the way down to the end and exit the convenience store closest to the ramp, furthest from the red light. So because it's the safest. I mean, I can see people coming. I have plenty of time, kind of thing. So I pull up to the exit and I come to a complete stop and I look to the left and there's 2 cars coming. First car comes. And all of a sudden, what was that? Got rear-ended by a guy in a work truck, the kind of work that they climb towers. You know what I mean? And he's a young kid, and as soon as I get out of the car, I just look at it and I'm like, really? This is how my day's gonna start, really? And then I look and the kid's obviously 23, 24. He's a kid. I said, just pull back, okay? He pulls back. I pull the car around. I get out of my car. First thing I do is I take pictures of his tag, pictures of his car, pictures of the damage, and then I stop and think, this might really ruin this kid's day or week. He might have a problem in his job. Even his job might think this is the last straw for you, kind of thing. And and it really isn't much. He just dinged me really light. I said, I got a $25 gift card in my pocket. I could give him this gift card and I could say, dude, here, take this, go. I'm going to say this happened in my work parking lot. You go have yourself a good day and a good week. And the next time you have the opportunity to be mean or mad at somebody, stop, take a breath, and don't be mean. Be nice. Pass it on, kind of thing. I'm thinking, I could do this. It's going to be a really positive mood. And my insurance is fine. I got plenty of, I'm only paying $200 a year or something super cheap. So then he gets out of the car, then he walks over, and then he says, well, I guess we should exchange information. And then he pulls out an iPhone. Then I say, never mind, give me your insurance information. If he can afford an iPhone, he can afford to get this fixed. So yeah, he's paying.
Was he wearing a flannel shirt?
No, he was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I'm cutting you no
If
break.
he was wearing a flannel shirt, you probably would have changed your mind.
Oh no, he would have had an Android phone. I would have cut him a break. I thought, nah, I don't want to see Apple this time in the morning. You are screwed. You support China.
How much is gas?
Okay.
Gas. Want to say it was $3.19 a gallon.
Wow.
But I'm right by the port, even though the bridge is down, so it means gas costs less. And historically, as soon as May starts, prices start to go down, then they jack right back up around Memorial Day, around the end of the month.
How about you, Ivor? What are you sitting at now?
Oh, actually, I can't remember the last time. My wife keeps filling my car up for me, so I can't remember when it was last time. It's about $3 a litre here. So,
Really? Wow.
yeah.
It just went up to 209 here per liter. And then you were talking about $200 a year for your insurance.
Oh, it's
My
it.
insurance is like $1,600 for.
Yeah.
There you go. Eric says it's $2.85 a litre. But our money is worth half as much as yours.
Well, and you got to remember, Josh. We pay together, kind of thing. She only drives now like 10 minutes to work. The last time I talked to my insurance company, I told them I was full-time teleworking, and I haven't kind of updated that information yet.
Yeah, well, that's the same though. It's not like we drive 75 miles a day. Like we drive probably less than 5,000 miles a year. Maybe less than 10 for sure, and it doesn't matter. It went up. Our insurance went up last year. There's no claims, nothing. It just went up. But in British Columbia, there you have to get it through the government. It's ICBC, and it's a provincial insurance that you have to get. Then you can get supplemental insurance on top of that, but they have a monopoly on base insurance. It's unbelievable. It's a complete monopoly. But it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. You just know.
So what you're saying is
Say.
it's climate change. That's the reason you pay so much. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Capitalism.
Yeah, it's global warming, not even climate change. It's just pick one.
I knew it had to be. Yeah.
Yeah, because that giving. Well, no, it did though. They actually just installed a carbon tax in Canada.
There you go.
So that's cool because me giving the government more money will definitely solve any problems.
Anything, yeah.
Or perceived global warming problems. So that's good. I had a conversation with somebody about that the other day. Like, oh, they're voting in Parliament about it. Okay, he's like, well, it's good because then the polluters are going to have to pay more. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then who's going to actually cover that cost? It's going to be us, the
Customers.
going to be paying for it. And where does this money go? Is this to package and send to Ukraine some more money, or what are we looking at here? Any other rails you want to touch? Because we touch a third one, fourth one. I'll go anywhere, Dor.
See, we got climate. What about sexism, trans rights?
You guys
go
want to
for it.
talk about what's going on in the Middle East at all?
Harvey Weinstein got
Middle
his
East.
charges dropped in New York City.
Yeah.
And and you know, we have stickers on all of our gas pumps where people keep putting them on our gas pumps, and it's Joe Biden like this, and it says, I did this, and it's pointing to the price.
Yeah, I've seen that I've seen pictures of it too on like steaks at the store. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, because you're coming into election year, aren't you, Dor? Things are going to start getting crazy.
The commercials already are. Oh, I'm so glad I can't watch TV. I mean, I only watch Jeopardy with the wife. That's it. And the commercials alone with that are insane. The one guy, his name is Lou, and he's like, Lou. And his picture of a sheep in his commercial. I'm like, where the hell am I?
For what? What do you mean?
For like state senate or something. And he looks like he's like a 4'8" Vietnamese guy. And his last name's Lou. And they keep saying Lou. And they keep showing pictures of a sheep. I don't get it.
Is he maybe he's letting you know that he is a sheep and that he'll follow whatever he's told to do.
Well,
Maybe he's
a
trying to appeal
politician.
to expat New
so-
Zealanders.
I don't know. I just looked at the wife and I said, can we just pause next time commercials come on and then just fast forward them later? Because I'd much rather talk to you than watch this.
Well, you know what, Dor? We got YouTube Premium.
Or YouTube. Oh, premium. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's we started it because I never watched YouTube really before, and it might have just been because of the commercials. Because I mean, the ads, you watch for 2 minutes, and there's 2 minutes of ads, and so yeah, we've been doing that. So thanks for the recommendation. I mean, I don't like giving Google money, but I mean, is there any difference between Google or up here? There's Crave or Netflix or any of the other,
Right.
Amazon.
Yeah, I just pirate everything. Anything I want to watch, I pirate it and I put it on my Plex server, and that's it. Anything else, meh. And the wife, I mean, every now and then she watches something interesting, like she watched Gentleman in Moscow, where it's
that's great. I've been watching that
with Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
Yeah, such a talented guy,
I think
just
it's
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, now this is how we then make the jump to Android, because it's a Russian propaganda thing. We have Google I/O like any second going to happen, and the only thing I know is they're going to say the word AI at least 1 billion times. It was like on Steve Gibson Security Now, it was a really good picture of the week. It was a picture where it was a guy with his pitch deck. A pitch deck is what up and start businesses have. They have their pitch deck that they show possible investors and what they're doing. And the guy said, look, just go through the pitch deck and replace every time it says cryptocurrency, and just replace it with AI. It's like, oh God, spot on, man. People now cannot stop saying it, even though they have no idea what it is. And sometimes it's literally nothing more than like fancy spell check.
Oh, absolutely.
And then it's like weird racist pictures and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
and then,
my wife was. Oh, sorry, Dor.
No, and then like people worry about it, how everything's going to be in trouble because AI, and I'm like, the problem, it will never be AI. The problem is people are stupid. Okay, not that computers could be smart. People are stupid. That's the real problem. So I educate myself, I educate my wife, educate my kids. So like, we're now like, one of the biggest scams is they get 15 seconds of your voice. They can sample you. They can then have people call up. And I say to the wife, we now have our secret password.
What is it?
It's something that will never be in any normal conversation, number one. But number two, I said, in bottom line, if it's me, simple, hang up and call me back, because you're not going to call the scammer. You're going to call me. So, period. I'm never going to call up and ask for money. And even her mother was aware of the scam, and she was aware of how like people just call up with like kidnap scams. Like, Grandma, I'm in blah, 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 and I got kidnapped. I need $1,000. And she was like, yeah, you can go to hell. I'm not paying you the money.
Like grandma.
But look, she's also the kind of woman, if some woman said something smart to you, she'd take her earrings off and be like, I'm going to kick your ass. So she's a good mother-in-law.
The Irish are strong.
Old school Baltimore.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI scams, do you see the iFixit did a breakdown of the Rabbit AI device, that PIN device?
Yeah.
And basically said it's should have just really been an app.
Yeah, it's literally nothing more than a super light Android operating system and an app running on a piece of hardware. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even know
Motors and gears.
It's supposed to be like one of these.
Link to the.
Yeah, what it's supposed to be is like a personal AI assistant that you can have around you all the time. You can ask it questions. It will listen to stuff. It will learn your habits, supposedly.
Oh, like a Palm Pilot.
I guess.
So there's another one called the Human AI Pin as well. These devices, you just sort of wear them attached to your chest for some reason. I don't know why. And they provide all the AI answers to all the questions you have in life.
Wait, what was that, Dor? You have
I'm
one?
sorry.
Sorry.
What was that you just showed on your shirt?
Sorry.
What was that you just showed on your shirt?
Oh, no, it's nothing. But you know what I did learn?
What is it?
If you're a Nielsen family and somebody asks you, you have to say you're not a Nielsen family.
Hey, Dor, are you a Nielsen family?
Absolutely not.
What's your secret password?
Osh gosh bagosh.
GFY.
No, actually I tried to make it Mecca Lecca High Mecca Hiney Ho. She wouldn't go. It's like, come on, no one will guess it. Come on.
Is it password?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4,
and
5, 6.
Monkey
Right.
1, 2, 3.
well, and to me, the idea of an AI pin, I don't want to say it's
Banana.
completely worthless, but you already have the perfect tracking, listening, recording, displaying, answering shaped device that people have super glued to their hands.
Why would you want another one?
Well, I mean, it's just something else to charge. And I know with me,
Exactly.
I want to charge as few things as possible. So I
Well,
mean,
you're going to see the guy you're going to see walking around is going to have one of those or two of those Rabbit R1s and a Google Glass.
Imagine it. In a flannel shirt.
and a
Well,
flannel
I mean,
shirt.
I don't understand how it's supposed to work. Like it has to be connected at all time. It's not like you can have an offline AI in that form factor.
Well, okay. One, these current devices do connect to your phone for connectivity, but the latest and greatest is not large language models. They're actually now doing literal small language models that instead of being able to answer everything poorly, it can answer a few things probably pretty poorly, but it can like focus on certain things. Like the example I heard was you could go into a place like Lowe's and put on your Lowe's AI device, and that device will be able to tell you about everything in the store. If you ask how to make a hamburger, it's not going to know because it's only trained on the language model that pertains to this environment kind of thing. And the big plus is you don't need to be online. You don't need as large of a data set. You don't need as powerful as a processor, and you can get good results. Because right now the processor needs for real, in air quote, large language models, it's insane. So everyone believes if we can hyper focus it down into these channels, these silos of information, we'll be able to use cheaper processors and get like the same result. I'm just highly skeptical of it all. So, we'll have to just sit back and watch the world burn and then figure it out.
But you know what? That makes sense though. Like just to have the all-knowing AI is whatever. I use it to get ideas, or if it's something that's not life or death.
Right.
But to have an isolated language model for, say, gardening, what does this plant like does it like full shade, partial shade, sun, blah, 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 stuff like that. That's easy and right there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me right now, it's to be honest, I love Wikipedia. Okay. I'm not insulting Wikipedia. I actually love Wikipedia. I abuse it. I use it all the time. To me, it's on the same level as Wikipedia, and it's a great jumping off point. It's a great thing to get your mind engaged. But then you as a human have to make it better because what you get out of it is never good enough. So to me, it's like a grain of salt, grain of sand.
I used to be a big fan of Wikipedia, but
Oh.
Nah, I understand what they're doing now, and it's I'm not on board with.
Well, who's doing better? With information, sharing information without ads.
Well, yeah, but it's the validity of the information and the agenda behind the information that's the problem.
Well, that's the people. That's the writers behind it. That's not the service itself.
No, I don't think so. I think that is coming from higher up, but maybe it is because there are a lot of like you said, there are a lot of dumb people that
Well, and unfortunately, Wikipedia has
dumb ideas.
well, and Wikipedia has its own ranking system, which gives it its own reputation, which means this they believe this person is the in air quote expert, so he overrides other people, kind of thing. So that's why I say it's like a great starting point, but never take it as full faith.
Is that the one with the most purple hair? Do they get the highest ranking?
That, and they probably live in their mom's basement,
And they're vegan.
and they're vegan, and they let you know it.
And yeah, and they are very easily offended at anything.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah.
Did you mispronoun me?
Yeah.
Hey, there's another rail we could touch.
That is, ooh, yeah. At work, I just say, "What's your name?" I'm gonna try to remember that, and then I say, "Hey, you," because I can never remember people's names. How am I gonna remember everything else? Jeez, come on, man. And then my excuse is, "Look, I'm old. Take it easy on me."
That's right. I got 2.5 years before I
Yeah.
can retire from this, and there's a bridge that fell down. Now I have a 7-hour drive to work, plus a car hit me.
That
Really? You
damn
wanna
bridge,
know that?
man. That bridge, man. And
I'm
I
not
tried.
gonna use Z.
Yeah, and I had somebody at work try to tell me it was a conspiracy theory. It was done purposely to take people off the story of P. Diddy's house getting raided. What? You realize this bridge was like at 1:30 in the morning and it didn't kill anybody, so it really didn't get a large news cycle. I mean, that stuff would happen at 7:30 in the morning. Oh yeah, that would have got a lot of news.
You should buy a bicycle door. Get a bike and cycle to work.
Nah, paraglider, fly, man, fly.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Where's our flying cars? That's what I want to know.
Well, right after the wrist device.
Wrist phone.
Yeah, right after the wrist device. Yeah.
Yep.
Anthony in the chat said that he doesn't like the fact that Wikipedia keeps begging for money even though they don't need it. And then Ivor's better looking brother Eric says, I keep begging for money when I don't need it. So
Well, I don't know why a website wouldn't need it, because you always need storage space, hosting money, and that.
yeah,
Unless they're getting donated that.
CIA is your biggest funder. You don't have to worry about money. Another rail? Yeah. Hey, check them off.
Julian Assange, maybe we can talk about him too. One rail I'll say on at least tech industry was there was an Android, there's a Nintendo Switch emulator. Never remember what it's called. Doesn't matter what it's called. They were charging money for their emulator. They got nailed by Nintendo. They lost $20 million, immediately bellied up. And then two of the developers forked it, called it the same, like almost the same name, and they put it back up for free, saying, well, if I put it for free, well, they can't sue me. And so gaming emulation has at least been in the news a lot. And here's one thing I will say. Regardless of the platform, the original platform, regardless of the platform you're playing it on, I take emulation literally as historical bookkeeping. Like, you're doing your part to archive history of gaming. That's me. If it's not what you think, well, then, you say tomato, I say tomato, and I'm right. But there's a new, in air quote, player on the Android front, and that is Emulation Station. Emulation Station has been one of the big dogs on desktop for a good couple years. Them and RetroArch are the two big ones. RetroArch is great at doing the back end stuff. Emulation Station is much better at doing the front end stuff, and the two conjoined make Voltron kind of thing. Emulation Station now has ES-DE front end, which is a desktop edition, but it's also available for Android if you're a Patreon supporter, which to me means it's going to be released here hopefully sooner than later. If you need a more pretty interface to your gaming experience, there are right now more than a couple paid solutions you can get to have like on Android TV or on an Android set-top box or on a tablet that will look really good. But I personally think supporting something like Emulation Station is more than well worth it. They've been around a long time. They ain't going nowhere. And they do, in air quote, to me, the right thing where they let people make plugins, all kinds of fanciness to them. And I will say, in my experience, Emulation Station is very smooth, easy on the eyes, and it just works.
Hey, that's what they say about me.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fun.
So it's an emulator you use on your phone.
You can, Emulation Station, you can use on x86, you can use on Raspberry Pi, you can use on Android, you can use it on multiple things. What I like about it is the front end themes are almost endless.
We've got a bird in the room. This is the New Zealand fantail,
Do you
also known as the P Waka Waka. It's meant to be a omen of death.
Oh,
Now my cat's getting interested.
There you go.
Oh, the cat's got it.
oh, geez.
Yep. And
Here it is.
huh.
Got a large.
Oh, well, looks like a chickadee.
Yeah.
We went to when we were in
Quite a small
Victoria.
It's got a large fantail there. That's why
Very
they call it a fantail. I'll throw him outside.
Are
Oh,
you
but we're
gonna
gonna-
Osborne that thing or what?
Thought he was going to crush it with his hand. Show us who's boss.
We went to a VR escape room. And it was the first time that I'd put on a VR headset, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We did this jungle adventure because Solomon was with us, and he's 5. So they said that they usually don't. It's usually 8 and up, but we strapped one of those on him, and so it was interesting. There, what are they? They're the Meta
Quest something. Yeah.
Quest 3, and so when you have like this, it's kind of a squared circle
Right.
on the floor, and then you're inside of that, and when you go out of it, you can see
The real world.
the real world. Yeah. So but then you get confused in there, and I was always trying to poke my head out to see what the kid was doing, make sure that he wasn't running into things. But then I'm running into things trying to get out of this box. But it was a lot of fun. I instantly looked up how much one of those things costs.
Yeah, that's what my oldest son has. He has a Quest 3. And every now and then, because he's in a more of a confined space, every now and then I hear him punch a wall or something. And he gets really upset when he does it. And he did say to me, one of his goals, my wife was sitting there doing the typical wife thing. What do you want to do? What's your goals? What do you want? Kind of thing. And he literally said, I want a place where I have a 30 by 30 foot room where I can play VR. I'm like, oh, geez, man.
That's the answer.
Oh my dude, she wants to hear something like, marriage, kid, house, something career, not VR dreams.
It's the holodeck. I tell you, it's the holodeck.
Yeah.
My
Well,
son
see-
bought one a little while ago as well. He uses it at home, and he's always just waving his arms around and walking in circles, walking into walls.
Is it that one as well? The Quest 3.
It's the Quest 2, I think.
Okay, and then so what I was wondering, maybe you guys could answer this, is that they were hooked up to these Alienware
Mhm.
computers, and the reason I even thought about it is because I was scrolling down that the ESDE front end that you just had, Door, and I saw Steam on there, and I saw on their computers that they were on the Steam app, but then when I was looking up the headset, it said that you didn't need a computer to use it. So,
Well, think of it like this. The headset is nothing more than an Android phone put in landscape mode, That's all it is. It's an Android device. So because it's an Android device using the a Qualcomm processor, there's only a certain amount of resolution and frame rate and yada yada you can do on that physical phone itself. Plenty of games exist in the MetaQuest store that are very playable. Fine, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're better than Nintendo Virtual Boy. Okay, but then if you want to play the high quality looking stuff, or you really need more adult entertainment, you want to be connected to a real computer with a real video card that costs the computer like $2,000 to $3,000, because then it can basically stream. All it is, it's like taking your monitor, splitting it up into two sections and streaming that to your head. That's all it really is.
Okay, what is that, through Bluetooth?
No, you have to have a dedicated cable, and
Wi-Fi.
the cable has to be Gen 3.2 USB-C, or else it will not work because it needs extreme throughput. It's insane how fast it needs to be. You can try to play it wirelessly, you can, and it's going to be lag city with anything high end. Because
Okay, because there was no wire connected to the laptop where we went.
gotcha.
But it also wasn't a high end game. I think it was from 2019, from what I could see.
Well, and with him, he only wants to play the interactive stuff with other people, like across the continent and stuff. So for him, lag is incredibly, ridiculously important. I mean, right now the router's down here. I have a mesh node here, mesh node first floor, mesh node second floor. He connects physically Cat 6 to that mesh node on the top floor. And because it's a mesh network, his lag is actually comparable to like my old router I have down here, my old Linksys router. So he's happy with the speed stuff, and everything he plays, all you hear him cussing everybody out. It's like the old Xbox days where, if your mom walks into the room, she's going to like blush because you're saying some really nasty stuff to somebody who, could be a lady with blue hair living in her parents' basement, or it could be whatever, but he doesn't care. He just cusses everybody out.
Could be a guy sitting in New Zealand wearing a flannel shirt.
Flannel shirt, catching birds.
Yeah, stroking a fan.
Catching birds, yeah.
Oh, my pretty.
But bottom line, it's just a computer. Now, with that said, the best news of the week is Apple is turning down all of their headset productions and expectations because it sucks. Not many people are buying it, and it is an extreme loss leader. Kind of like if they were to, I don't know, take like the far-fetched idea of maybe they could design a car or something.
Did they perhaps come up with a technological device that was really inferior to what's already available at a much higher price?
And does much less.
And does much less. Because,
the holy grail is the Quest 2 or Quest 3 you can buy for less than $400 or $500. You can then buy a legitimate computer, and you still spent less money than the Apple headset alone. And to do everything on the Apple headset, you have to have a MacBook or a Mac computer sitting next to it. So you might as well, donate a kidney, take some plasma out of your body and other stuff if you want to get that isolated, garden-walled experience of, I can put a timer on the wall. Congratulations. That's not something I would brag about.
Have you seen one in the wild?
No,
People
because I'm
using
pretty
it
sure I
in
would trip them.
I'd smack him on the back of the head.
Talking about it. This is some sort of AR headset by Apple, is that?
Yeah. They have a stupid one where it then has cameras looking at your eyes, and it's projecting your eyes out to the world so when people can tell that you're looking at them. Look, I know some people in California like to do hallucinogenics and stuff, but I think they've taken it too far. And then if you take a look at the Apple avatar that you can use with your Facebook chat or your FaceTime chatting and stuff, the avatar is as creepy as the metaverse Mark Zuckerberg. No, they just don't get it, man. Yeah, whatever. thank God we don't get hooked into stupid flim-flammy, fads and stuff.
Yeah, Red said, I still say idiocracy.
Oh, well,
Agreed.
now that's a compliment. That's about a compliment. I don't want to insult Mike Judge.
Yeah, idiocracy, the story of Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wife watched. What did she watch now? Oh man, it was something, and it reminded me of Mike Judge. And I'm trying to. Oh, she watched, for some reason she watched an old sitcom in the 2000s, which when she bought it and she left the DVDs upstairs, and she asked my youngest son, Danny, can you go upstairs and grab this box DVD set off of my dresser? It's called Two Guys and a Girl. And my son was like, what in the hell kind of movies are you watching?
Is it VR?
And the original name of it was Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Shop. And it was Ryan Reynolds, somebody we don't know ever, a blonde-haired girl back in like 1999. So, he was like 20 kind of thing. It was a sitcom, and she started watching it. And then one of the people in the show turned out to be a actress from Silicon Valley. And now I'm trying to convince her to watch old Silicon Valley, because if you want funny, it's really hard to beat that show.
Do you have that on your Plex?
No, because the wife is still willing to pay for HBO, yada, yada, whatever it's called now, Max. And I can watch anything that was ever on HBO Max before. But it's a good idea to back up for archival purposes.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, that's the good thing about getting the other computer is it has plenty of ports, and I have plenty of hard drive standing over here to I can do like a JBOD. And have
I've got about 15 hard drives sitting around
Yeah.
here. I've got to do something with.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be expanding my Plex library here, because right now it's about capped off.
Okay, good. Thank you, Dor.
No problem. I will say we are also witnessing a little bit of a renaissance, and that was the word I could not think of when I was thinking about this earlier. We are seeing a renaissance when it comes to some phone designs. Got to stop and say, hey, Rich in the chat. Always good to see you, hear from you, man. We are seeing not, because with people making foldable phones and people making these rollable phones and other kind of things, we then have people like Nokia literally going back to the old form factor of phones, which I'm not going to, this is what I'm going to say. A certain people of a certain generation who might be subscribed to AARP might be the perfect customer for these kinds of devices. They want low complexity is the way that I'll put it. I want to hit the green button to answer, the red button to hang up, and dial numbers.
Yeah, and I want numbers.
Right. And it is running KaiOS, KAIOS, which I will say, again, I'm pretty sure I'm the first person I've ever heard in the podcast world mention it. I love the idea of it, and I keep wanting to see it just expand a little bit more to a little bit more devices. I don't believe this phone is technically completely American friendly for the American network yet, but I can tell you right now, they are becoming more popular, and they will be coming over here. There's two of them, Nokia 6300 4G, and the other one I found was the Nokia 8000, I want to say. Here you go. Let's pop this one up too. After, there's the Nokia one, and then, the Nokia Premium KaiOS experience with Nokia 8000 4G. This one to me looks very, very reminiscent of like the last generation phones with the T9 keyboard. So yeah, I'm definitely game, and because I like having a dedicated media consumable browsing communication device, and then a dedicated where it's just voice, where it's basically so the wife can call me.
So that Nokia 8000 4G, that's like a reboot of the Matrix phone, isn't it?
Almost, yes. It's very much like it. And it
That
has a
wasn't
headphone
very, that
jack.
didn't go down very well.
Well,
That wasn't very successful.
Everyone tries to be cool, and unfortunately, most of the time when people try to look cool, they look stupid. Just look at my kid playing VR.
Wearing flannel shirt.
Wearing a flannel shirt. But yeah, so I'm definitely a fan of having a diverse range of phone shapes, sizes, and input methods, whether it's a T9 keyboard or even somebody coming out with like a BlackBerry style keyboard, whatever. Because somebody out there is going to love it. Hopefully it's enough to buy it and keep it going, kind of thing.
Yep.
But does it come
Oh,
with
well.
a wrist strap?
No, but it
Yeah,
might come with
you
a
put it on your
lanyard.
Lanyard.
Ooh, a lanyard. Or what about a belt clip?
About quick, yeah. I think you just nailed it right there.
It's got to have a belt clip,
I mean,
man.
those Nokias were kind of the last indestructible phone.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that? What were those? The 5200 or something like that? Or?
I can't remember the number. I just know grayscale battery lasted for like a week, and you could play Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you need, really?
Got to be able to play Snake.
Yeah.
I found an article the other day. Well, I was interested to see Android's Find My Device network that Google's launched. So I think it's still still restricted. It's supposed to launch on April the 8th, but you've got to be, I think, subscribed to Android Play services, whatever that means. But basically it uses, so if your phone's turned off, it'll use low power Bluetooth to connect to other devices and tell you where your device is, regardless of where you are and how far away you are from it. So I think it was there's something to catch up with Apple, like we needed to. But I don't know. What did you think of this, George? Did you see it?
Well, I did, and I was really confused at first because I've had Find My Device on my devices for like years. So I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I don't understand but now I understood better. It is using the Bluetooth network. So even if your network is out of range and you're not able to get on 4G, 5G, 3G, whatever G, but your phone can
Yep.
Bluetooth see somebody else on a Google device who is on the network, it will almost be like the Amazon Sidewalk. I can't remember what it's called, way of communicating, where the only thing that the other device gets is like a ID, and that's it, nothing more. They get nothing else off your device, and your phone shares its bandwidth with him to say, okay, that device is over here. The other thing that I also learned was if you have the newest, latest, greatest, I want to say only Pixel 8 devices, technically when you're, this is literally conspiracy level stuff. Your phone is turned off. The battery is in. Your phone will still Bluetooth, low energy, communicate with the other phone saying, I'm here. So it gets to the point to where Snowden might have had a point with taking his battery out and sticking his phone in the microwave oven. I'm just saying.
Yeah, good luck taking your battery out nowadays.
Well, exactly. Well, no. Supposedly, just like the EU forced Apple to go the way of the USB-C port, I believe it was by 2026 or 2028.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah,
They
they're gonna
have
make
to
people
be
have replaceable
replaceable.
batteries.
And and have to be replaceable by the user. So we might, once again, now the question is, will phones be smart and have like a little battery or a little capacitor? So you take the phone out, it's still going to run for like 20 or 30 minutes or something. I don't know. But again, if you don't want anyone watching your stuff, don't get a phone. If you're worried about privacy, if you're worried about privacy, don't get a smartphone. Because even turning it off now will not stop everything. We've now utterly, ridiculously confirmed in black and white text from a billion-dollar company that they can see the phone even when it's off.
No, I mean, Snowden has a reason to put his phone in the microwave. You got to have a reason to want privacy, I suppose.
I thought it was just because he had broken glasses and he couldn't see it.
His glass is still broken.
I'm pretty sure they are. Because I don't think you can get good spectacles in Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Apparently not. Apparently
Yeah,
not.
and
Well, I mean, they are backwards, right?
Russia, man, I'm just so happy. There's a lot of countries in this world where I could live, and I think I could have fun and be cool. Looking at everything I know, and that was like that movie, Gentleman in Moscow. Man, I don't want to be in Russia. I don't care if my daddy is an aristocrat and we are loaded, and he controls whatever. And I don't care. I don't want to be in Russia because around you is death, like constant.
It always has been like that, though.
Well, ever since the Mongols beat them, they haven't had much to really, live for. And now Putin has ruled the country as long as Stalin did.
Yeah. There you go.
Who's the loser?
Well,
The Russian people.
There's a great series on Prime, on Amazon Prime, called The Romanovs, and it's basically a series of short episodes about current day descendants of the Romanov family, and it's like there's 9 episodes, I think, and each one has a different story, so they're not all related to each other, but they're hilarious. They're really, really good. If you get a chance to watch it, check it out. It describes Russians and Russia to a T.
So everyone's wearing a tracksuit and drinking vodka?
Oh, there's a childless couple travel to Russia to try and adopt a baby, and it goes through all the things that they go through, and it's just horrendous.
Right. Well, you know what I didn't know? Poland made vodka, not Russia. So while it's the drink of Russia, they didn't make it. It was invented in Poland. And what I also didn't know is kind of like how the UK can't make anything. Anything that's good in the UK, they had to steal from another culture. Like their beer.
Pretty good beer.
Well, what the hell is wrong? Tell me one UK beer that's good. I'm waiting.
Watney's Red Barrel. There you go.
They all suck. Like the number one food in the UK right now is chicken marsala, which is chicken
tikka masala.
Yeah, which is
or kebab.
Yeah, kebab. Both of them, UK and like Russia, they just really like vodka, but they don't make it, or they didn't invent it. So I'll put it. And what I didn't know was Grey Goose vodka is made from grapes, and traditional Polish vodka is made from potatoes. I like taters.
I'm pretty sure that if it's made from grapes, it's wine.
And that's what I thought. But Grey Goose vodka, and the only reason I know this, the wife once in a while on Thursday kidnaps me, and we go have a pairings thing where some guy from the distributor stands in front of everybody, says 500 times, and explains the history of the family and the culture and the tradition and the bottling technique and the Grey Goose one, the guy said it was made from grapes.
Grapes. Well, you can make vodka out of anything, really, can't you?
Can I make them out of kids?
I can make them out of my socks.
Oh. I like my socks.
Flannel shirt vodka. There you go.
Yeah.
Gin is a big thing too, apparently. You can make gin out of anything these days.
Well, I know, but traditional gin is made from juniper berries, which is basically pine, right?
Yeah, it's a small bush.
I was going to say piney is the way I'll put it.
Yeah, piney, cedary.
Yeah, it might be related to it. I'm not sure, actually. Yeah.
I just know there's that blue one, Bombay
Sapphire.
Bombay.
That's so quick. Yeah. That stuff's quick. You got to make sure you stand up quickly after drinking it. You're going to fall over.
Well, that's an English thing too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they love that. Yeah.
Well, of course, I'm pretty sure they got that from another country too. One thing I've been at least trolling since for the last 6 months is, I have my Steam Deck, you know what I mean, and I look for Steam sales, and on PC, everything's on sale all the time, and it never stops, right? So I subscribed to 2 Reddit subreddits. One of them was literally called Android Apps, where when apps go on sale, I get notified. Of course, 90% of them are icon packs. Thumbs down, man. Thumbs down. But then every now and then it is a game, and I also or a like actual productivity app. The other one I subscribe to is called Free Game Findings. Free Game Findings is good, except once in a while you get a weird Hentel game that you don't want to download and have other people see it in your library. Just saying. But then every now and then there's also Android apps in there that were literally like sometimes $9, $14, and boom, marked down to completely free. So if you, and the reason is I just want to have them in my library. So hypothetically, next week the wife says, we're flying to Spain. We're flying what? I'll have to be on a plane. How long? Man, I'm downloading me some games, man. I need to have that stuff there just in case, kind of thing. So I've been downloading all kinds of games for free, and literally all you got to do on Android, it's free. You download it, you wait 2 hours, you uninstall it. It's always then available in your library, period. Whenever I do see a free game findings on Android, and if it says in-app purchases, I don't care if it's free. I'm not downloading it, and I thumbs down, because I know this is just like the guy on the corner sprinkling a little bit of crack cocaine on a donut saying, here, you can have this for free because you're going to come back for more, kind of thing. So whenever I see in-app purchases on games, I do not download them, I do not install them, and I do not thumbs up them. So I've only been trying to get games that I see no in-app purchases, no ads, and right now it was $14. Now it's free. And with free game findings and following Android apps on Reddit, I've been able to find actually, I think, some good looking games. Better than normal games is what I'll say.
Was that boat driver that ran into the bridge, was he eating a donut by chance?
Well, one thing I didn't know,
chicken tikka masala.
Yeah. One thing I didn't know was, and I learned this because of the Suez Canal accident where the boat went sideways and it blocked the Suez Canal for like 2 weeks. Yeah. It's never the captain of the ship who is steering the boat in a situation like that. It's always the harbor master or the canal master or something like that, where it's a local guy who's supposed to know that ship, know the control, and he knows all the nuances of the waterways around. So it's never like the original boat's fault. But that same boat was found to have at least 2 instances of unreported electrical issues and 2 safety issues. One of them was in Singapore when that same boat ran into a bridge, coincidentally. But yeah, so the boat lost power, got power back, I believe, lost power again, small fire, got power back in, but by that time, too late. We're going straight to the bridge. So yeah, not good. All I know is that guy has already said he has to quit his job. He cannot do this job anymore, and he blames himself for everything, even though everything from Biden down to the port authorities, like, dude, the boat lost power. What are you supposed to do? You cannot steer a boat when it has no power, and the momentum was pushing it forward. There's nothing you can do.
I think the thing I learned most about with that whole thing was that I didn't realize that Boeing made boats.
Wow, we're touching some rails tonight.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing was the Boeing whistleblower told all of his friends and family members, look, I'm not suicidal at all. I'm telling you right now, something's going to happen. And look, 2 weeks later, he ends up dead.
Well, the other one just died too. There's 2 whistleblowers.
2 of them ended up dead.
I know.
Sort of rare disease.
Boeing
coincidence, I'm sure.
The West Coast, keep them over there. I know they have something in Carolina going on, but let's just close that and send everything back over to the West Coast and just keep everything with Boeing over there because I want nothing to do with it.
Well, there wasn't so many problems when it was over here. I mean, I grew up pretty close to the Everett facility where they started building these things, and yeah, then it went to when they went to Colorado and
Was it
Carolina.
Colorado or Chicago? Where
No,
they
I
set
think it was I think it was Colorado.
Colorado, where they like moved the head office so
Yeah.
it's physically away from the manufacturing plant. And then they said, look, I got a great idea. Let's move manufacturing to North Carolina. Yeah. Genius.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So we should probably talk about some apps.
There's a couple.
Well, the free game finder was one.
Hmm.
Oh, there you go.
So
Up your complaint.
I got one. Yeah. Hang on. So when I was on holiday over the summer, we had this is about early January. I went fishing with a friend, and we caught 6 marvelous snapper. Do you have snapper in where you are?
Red snapper.
Red snapper.
Red snapper.
Yeah, exactly.
Red snapper. They were beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. But we have quite strict fishing laws here in New Zealand, and no one had a ruler on them. So what I had to do was we had to check that the fish were the right size. So what I had to do was download this ruler app and measure the fish with this app. It's the only time I've used it, and it actually gave me a pretty accurate measurement of the fish. And it turned out they were all legal. We checked the size later when we got back with a measuring tape, and they were all good. So, but it was handy to have this particular app here on hand. I just downloaded it straight away, and then just basically measured these fish with my phone, and it worked out pretty well. The fish was delicious, apparently.
Apparently, well, you didn't get any.
No, I had to leave that the next morning, and they didn't eat until the following day. So,
well, I'll say
I think not.
I'm happy you test its measurement versus a tape measure, because I was afraid what you were going to say. But I will say, with the AR capabilities now basically baked into almost every Android phone since like 2022, you can do the physical kind of measurements on it, and to me it's almost creepily weird how you can like measure a room by moving the camera, and it somehow is able to be pretty. I know when I was in my mother-in-law's sunroom, I measured it with the AR thing, and it was only like less than 1/8 of an inch off, like both ways. And I was shocked. I was completely shocked. And that was how it was actually pretty accurate. But I will say this is also the kind of feature where I can tell you right now, any day now, it's just going to be baked into normal Android. Just because.
no, true. Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Well, at this point, a lot of the phones, you could just have a 12-inch ruler on the side of them anyway, like a physical ruler.
Yeah, they're getting big.
Yeah, on the case. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a ruler by Zalpa Labs, 4.6 average reviews, 1 million plus downloads, E for everyone. No data is shared with third parties, and no data is collected, which is always good. Updated May 18th, 2023. Requires 5.0 Android and up. Permissions should be pretty light. Yeah, no special permissions to run. So there you go. That sounds like
it's a great little app, and it's free.
Yeah.
The latest update, it says it fixes issues with tall devices such as the Pixel 2 XL. So I mean, it's top of the line here. Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably never ever use this again, but that one particular time in my life I needed something like this, and was there straight away, and it worked really well.
Nice. I've been looking at a laser tape measure for doing outsides, like, if you 100 feet or 200 feet, and see. I don't know how accurate something's going to be like that, especially during the day. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably just better off with a tape measure in those cases.
Yeah, it's just handy when you're by yourself to shoot a laser. Plus, it's a laser.
You can't go wrong with lasers.
You think it's wrapped. Yeah, you sit right into your eye. I'm going to see the distance to my soul.
Ha tricked
Yeah.
you.
Ruler,
Oh,
download it.
Very cool. So do you have any apps there, Josh?
Nah, you know what? No, I don't think I even do.
That's okay. That's okay. We can all hold
Shock me,
hands.
Josh.
No reason for me to be on this show, to tell you the truth.
Well, we would talk about Bitcoin then.
Yeah. Well, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, I do. I have an app. Let's talk about Bitcoin.
Jesus.
But no, there was the. I think did Samurai have an app? I'm pretty sure that they did. There's a Samurai, the Samurai wallet, and they just got arrested by the federales.
Oh yeah. I saw that on Monster.
Yeah, so they had a wallet, and then they have what was called I can't remember what it's called, but it's a mixer, and so you can take you can buy your Bitcoin from an exchange and then run it through this
Right.
mixer.
And it would try to anonymize it. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
So launder your Bitcoin.
well, yeah, I guess so, but I mean, sure.
This is my Elvis wallet. You got a Samurai wallet. I've got an Elvis wallet.
Oh my god. I don't know why he's here either, to tell you the truth. This probably should just be you, Dor.
Here's my
My fault.
3D.
Oh, what do you
3D. I have a 3D printed wallet. Eh?
Ooh.
Eh?
Yeah.
Because I'm nerd.
I don't have any money. So I don't have a
Oh,
wallet.
there's no money in it. I'm broke. It's mainly like insurance cards and stuff to show people who have iPhones who rear end me.
Yeah, so that was taken down, and I think they had an app, but they were taken down by the FBI, I guess, for money laundering, and
That's because they didn't share with the FBI.
yeah, was it money laundering? It was something, but they had also said that, like, they had made posts on Twitter that they were. The use case was for gray and black markets.
I could picture, if I'm going to guess the FBI, either wire fraud or something about transmitting over state lines or something over lines. Because they never get you with the actual crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get your tax evasion or something.
yeah. Speaking of which, I should probably do that.
Oh. Well, good luck, eh?
If Trudeau knocking on the door.
Yeah. Yeah, because Trudeau wants to send some more
just-
stuff to Ukraine.
Yeah, well, exactly. They just, what was it? He's trying to get the capital gains tax up to like 60% or something like that.
What?
It's unbelievable. No, I mean, like, income tax is pushing 50%.
Yeah, I can
Just
believe it.
blasted a tire on a pothole on our road too. Like, it just it drives me nuts. Like, that's one of the things that drives me the most crazy is the amount of money that goes to a government, and then people defending it and saying, "Oh, but they fixed the roads." No,
I will say, if I can
No, they don't.
see improvement in my life and in my surroundings, I complain less. But also being a government employee, if I get a raise, I complain less, which makes me quite hypocritical. But because, like, we got a guy in the governor's office, he's been there now 2.5, 3 years. He had the largest surplus of any governor coming into office, when it's, calculated versus, the years and, how much money's worth, kind of thing. The largest surplus of any governor coming into the state of Maryland. And he had the most taxes to look forward to out of any governor coming into the state of Maryland. And in 2 years, we're now begging for money, and we have now a project at my job to reduce all physical mail to the bare minimum because mail costs too much. So we got to save money. And I'm thinking to myself, if the roads were better or some kind of public service I would see is better, I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean? But then I hear he's giving me a raise in July. So he's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, here's your 2%
Mm-mm.
raise for your 15% inflation.
No, this is the biggest raise I've ever had in my 27-year career, a 15% raise,
Wow.
which just tells me he wants to get reelected.
Yeah. We're
Because
going
that's
back
what
to
you
the
do.
1980s now.
That's when you want to
This
get
is the
reelected.
1980s all over again. This is 20% interest rates, 20% bloody
Well, I know, but you got to
inflation
realize
rates.
the inflation rates we had for the last 20 years were like Goldilocks. I mean, it wasn't supposed to last that long. We were not supposed to have like 1.9 for like 10 years. That was insane.
Why not?
Because
Why?
it was insane.
That's what it should be. That's what it should be.
Sounds like someone. It's a case of the supposed to's.
Yeah, that's supposed to.
It's like, it's yin and yang. It's good and bad. Economy is supposed to do this, supposed to go up and down kind of thing. And we had it really good for a really long time. So now my kid's house is going to cost more money. I already got my rate locked in. He's fine. Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red says in the chat that Biden wants to tax you on what you could get if you sold stock, and who knows what else. You haven't sold anything and you get taxed. Yeah, that's a tax on unrealized gains.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't care. I don't own any stock, so I don't care.
Well, yeah, but that's not the point though. The point is that they can just do whatever they want, and there's no pushback whatsoever, and all of it is thievery. And
well, but the point is that's not going to affect me, so I don't care.
All you're doing is printing money.
Well, actually, it's the Federal Reserve that prints money, but
I think Door's being deliberately obtuse at the moment.
No. This is the typical American thing. It's not in my backyard. You know what I mean? So that tax isn't going to affect me at all. I don't care. I literally don't care. Because
until it does affect you, and then you pull out the pitchfork and the flaming torch.
That will never affect me. I don't have stocks. I don't
until
have
something
bonds.
does affect you.
I don't have any of that stuff. I get money in my house. We spend it.
So are your pensions taxed as well?
Everything's taxed.
You save up your pension. Yeah, but like we contribute to pension fund. It gets taxed at the point you pay, not at the point you released.
We get both.
So, you get both. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's coming for us as well. I'm going to sharpen my pitchfork.
Whether you're coming or going, the tax man gets his money always. And I will say, now the estimation is by 2035, I want to say they said, Social Security will become insolvent to where you can't rely on it. And I'm like, when I was 10, I was told not to rely on it. I don't rely on that. I rely on myself working till I die.
The largest,
so paying more tax than ever, but you're $33 trillion in debt.
Yep. Well, that's where does it go? You look at the bills that come through, man. You look at the bills that go through the government. And
the only thing that both parties agree on is spend. Yeah.
Or Raytheon or any of these other military contractors. That's the whole economy is being boosted up by military contractors.
Yeah. I want to say it was FDR that warned on the military.
Eisenhower
on the, what's it called? The military complex.
Industrial complex.
Because it's a real thing. And it is. The amount of money the U.S. spends on DOD, which is why my son says he's going to join the Air Force. Good. We can get a couple pennies back, pushed into our family from the federal government. Because, money. And we already have the most advanced thing that's ever existed in the history of mankind. But no, it's not enough. We got to keep spending money. And here's the only good thing, in air quote, because you look, Monty Python taught me one thing. Always look on the bright side of life. Okay. One good thing about us supporting the Ukraine is we've been able to get rid of stock that we were literally in process of disposing of. And we would have had to pay to dispose of the stuff because it's so old, it's so outdated. We wouldn't allow our military to even use it. It's so old. So instead of us having to pay people to destroy it, we just shipped it over to Zelensky and said, here, you have it.
Yeah, here, have your kids die in this instead of ours.
Well,
There's a silver lining for everything, then, isn't there?
and that's one thing I said to a relative of mine, and wow, he got mad at me. I said, look, this is 2024. If we don't send them money, we're going to end up sending them our kids. And I pointed to his kids, 15 and 17. They would be next. And he was, oh man, he didn't talk to me for like a month. He just took his trans loving Bud Light and went and looked at the fire, poked the fire with a stick. That's what he said, and he still drinks it, and yet he complained. Yeah, but he complained about it, and yet he still drinks it. Dude, you can't have it both ways. You either complain about it and you buy something new, or you don't complain about it and you just keep drinking your cheap rice piss water. But I digress.
That was a big digression.
I know. I mean, Bud Light, ew. I mean, ew. You might as well just drink water out of a urinal. You know, like water from a toilet.
Like we don't know how horrible that tastes, right, the kids?
Yeah, well,
Josh does. He's been fixing his toilet.
Yeah, maybe call a little pink eye too.
It's fixed.
Yeah, little pink eye. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just bought we just got a dog, so we figured as soon as the dog gets the toilet level down,
right,
and we give the dog back, we can fix the toilet.
Yeah. Speaking of stoppages, I was actually really proud of myself for my ingenuitiveness. The sink in my bathroom down here, right when you walk in the front door, there's a half bath. That's my bathroom. There's other people, stay away. That's my bathroom. The sink started to stop up. The sink has 3 holes in, like, right in the very front where if it overflows, it goes into those 3 holes, right? If you try to take a plunger and like plunge the sink, you can't, because the 3 holes are there, and it just air just goes right through it. So I said, look, I'm gonna try to like plug all 3 holes with my fingers, and I'm gonna take my chin, and because I'm not asking anybody for help, because if they know that that's having an issue, it was completely my fault. Of course it was. But so I tried to do it by myself, and I tried to put my 3 fingers in, but the air was still escaping through the holes, and I thought, I need to get a vacuum. Aha! I took Saran wrap and folded it up, and I got it, and I put the Saran wrap over all 3 holes, and I was able to, and it was boom, and the sink emptied right out. And I thought, I'm damn proud of myself. I don't need to tell the wife and have her complain about me messing up the house and costing money. So yeah, troubleshooting. I'm good at troubleshooting, and apparently I'm good at improvising.
What is this accent you keep putting on the door? What is that? What is that from?
I don't know. It's not from Baltimore, hun. I don't know. Maybe from
my daughter does that as well.
Louisiana, maybe. I don't know.
Louisiana accents.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I was like, I was really proud of myself. It's like, dude, I didn't have to ask anybody for help. They had no idea there was an issue. I went to the store and I bought some Drano. They didn't know. I snuck it into the house like it was, like forbidden liquor or something. And I was able to clean that thing right up. Yeah,
awesome. It's proud of you too, Dor.
It's good to be the king. Speaking of the king, the game
smuggled Drano into your house.
Yeah. This game I was able to get on free game findings for absolutely for free. And I also was able to get Hero of the Kingdom version 1. So I have 2 of these games. Both of them look like they are multiple hour sinks into classic RPG type mechanics and atmosphere, I want to say. It really does remind me almost of like late 90s DOS games is the way I'll put it. In the game, basically, you're a adventurer, traveler, game starts, bad stuff happens, you got to save the entire kingdom because, that's you. Walk around the town, meet new people, find new tasks, find a sword, get into adventuring, kill bad people, earn XP, rinse, lather,
it's got an
repeat.
Age of Empires feel to it, hasn't it?
It does in the progression system, yes. Because the classic RPGs would just, here's a level, here's what you earned. In this one, you have to choose what you want to prioritize when you level up.
Cool.
Yeah, but I
That's
thought it was
nice,
cool. Even better, I got it for free. So,
Yeah.
to me, I hate to say it again, but this is the kind of thing perfect, I think, for a large tablet or even to play on like a Chromebook.
Mm.
And my
Yeah.
son, my sister-in-law works for schools. She filed for a grant. She got 90 Chromebooks or something for free, but she had to make sure she gave them to students. So as long as the kid had a EDU, Harvard County Public School EDU email address, she can give it to him. So she gave my youngest son one. And this thing is like, I mean, it isn't the best Chromebook I've ever seen, but I'll tell you, that boy loads up Android apps and plays games and everything runs like butter. I was shocked. So quite literally, the wife said, let's order from Mr. Wise Pizza. I'm like, okay, fine. Kid, give me the Chromebook. I'm logging in. I logged in. I was like, this is, and I, had plenty of Chromebooks. I'm not going to say I'm ready to buy another Chromebook, but if I find one at the right price, I just might pull the trigger because I like having that limited desktop experience where I ain't got to worry about infections.
Yeah.
Because, gonorrhea is real. And you know what I didn't know? The Indians
Lesson
got
we
back.
learned the hard way.
Yeah. The Native Americans got back at us. We killed 3/4 of them off with chicken pox and smallpox, but they introduced gonorrhea back to the Western world. I didn't know
Wow.
that.
So many rails
Take that.
today.
Take that.
Hey, they had to get some coming up to us, so they did.
Yeah, that goes back. So as you may or may not be aware, one of the things I'm doing is homeschooling my daughter. And we've been trying to focus on improving her mathematics. And so I found actually found a Linux program on my old Linux desktop laptop called TuxMath, which is really good. It's like Space Invaders, but you have to solve equations to destroy the meteorites that are coming down. And at the bottom there are a whole bunch of penguins in their ice caves. They're Linux penguins as well, which is good. But I was actually quite surprised to find that there's actually an Android app that does the same thing. So it's a lot of fun. My daughter really enjoys playing it. She does really well, and it's suitable for all ages. So Josh, you could use it for Noah, and from that age right up to advanced high school, the last year of high school. It's quite a cool take on what I thought was the old Space Invaders maths learning game.
Yes, he has played this quite a bit actually.
Oh, I have. Okay.
And when I was doing the computer labs in Myanmar, I'd put this on all of those computers as well, all the Raspberry Pis. And so you can definitely get it on Raspberry Pi. And then Tux also has some other ones too that you might want to look into.
They do an English one and then some other stuff and geography, I think, as well. Yep.
But this one is quite fun.
Yeah. And it can be quite difficult when you get up to the higher levels and the speed. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
How old is your daughter?
12.
12. Okay, so that would be what, like grade 5 or something?
8th grade.
6, 8. Wow, you
7th.
guys are more
7th
advanced
grade.
than we are here.
Yeah.
7th or
8
8th.
years old is like grade 2.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I went to university. There's people that go to university for 6 years. Yeah, they're called doctors, Tommy.
Yeah, so it's TuxMath. It's by Africalan.
Africaland. Yeah.
Africalan. Data safety, no data is shared and no data is collected. Again, I still believe we're the only Android anything that ever mentions those stats on applications. Most Android stuff I listen to, it's still all about like journalism and just smushy, worthless back chatter about privileged people. But I digress.
Isn't that what we do?
Nah, I'm not privileged. I don't know about you.
No, I'm not saying we're privileged. I'm saying that we talk about a bunch of nonsense.
Oh, well, that's nonsense. That's different. See, we even mentioned like Tux Math is at version 2.11, updated April 20th, 2024, 50,000 plus downloads, 6.0 Android and up, content rating E for everything, everyone. Permissions, I'm pretty sure it's thinking about it. I'm going to guess no permissions because it won't let me touch it. Released on September 25th, 2022. And I will back up Josh. There's more than a couple Tux related educational applications on all platforms. All you do is literally search for TUX and you'll definitely find more than a couple, including the Mario Kart clone game, which has been everywhere.
Have a go at it yourself. See how good your basic maths is. Mine's terrible.
Yeah. Mine is bad. Whenever my 16-year-old has math homework, I'm like, sure, I can help. Pull up my Android phone, script calculator. There we go. Oh, that's easy. Come on. 16. How do you not know that? Yeah.
Well, you don't have to get the answers right anyway anymore, do you?
As long as you try.
It's all about how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't offend somebody.
Wow, that's impossible.
Yeah, you might get education privilege.
Yeah, I heard Wisconsin school denied Biden's offer to help pay for kids' lunches because the Wisconsin government said, we don't want kids to get spoiled. I said, excuse me? What? And I'm thinking, I'm glad I don't live in Wisconsin because I'm pretty sure I'd have to email somebody and be kind of mad.
Don't make me email you.
Yeah. Well, I'm a government employee. I can't protest government stuff.
Really?
Instant termination.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty sweet freedom of speech you got
Yeah.
there.
That's the way, instead of me sticking it to man, that's the way they stick it to me.
Well, that's what they do. That's what the man does.
Mm-hmm.
Damn the man.
Yeah. This app, I want to say I never got a chance to look up an actual action, but it was the kind of thing that just caught my eye and made me stop and say, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. I want to say right now the app is still not out, or maybe, you have to put in your email address to be part of the beta program. But basically, anywhere in the world, you draw a square on Google Maps, and it will apparently show you live streams in that area. Now, I do know if you know how to do Google Foo, you can do about a 40-character Google search that will show you everything you click will be a live stream that's unencrypted kind of thing, because so many people don't know what they're doing and they put cameras in their house and it's publicly accessible and they don't know it. So what that search does is basically search for everything that's streaming video. Once in a while, you just click random stuff and you'll see a pool, you'll see a gas station, you'll see the front of somebody's house, all kinds of stuff. So with this one, you literally just draw a rectangle on the map, hit the button, and it will pop up with a whole bunch of pins, and then voila, you're looking at video that sometimes the people don't know that they put out on the public sphere.
So nude roulette, basically.
It's anything roulette. You might see a homicide. You might see somebody breakdancing. You don't know what you're gonna find, man. It could be nothing. Could just be a random big-tailed bird or whatever.
So would these be like Ring doorbells?
Anything that can have a camera on it. Typically, it's not really Ring doorbells, because I'll say this, Rings are probably a little bit better at that. But they're like the off-brand Chinese surveillance cameras that somebody got on discount, and they just hook up to their network, and they don't realize the feed's being pushed out to a port 80, like through something.
Yeah, I used one of those for years. It's great.
Was that your OnlyFans account?
Yeah.
Hey, when I click on the Get It on Google Play button at the bottom, comes up with a page saying the real world Google Play beta is not available until the 12th of May.
Gotcha.
So is it working for you?
It let me put my information in, and I thought it said, May the 12th. So it changed because 2 weeks ago it said, I want to say it said April 25th. And this was like
right.
two weeks ago when I first saw it. So apparently they're pushing it back just a little bit.
Yeah, so it wants me to put my email in if I want access to the beta.
Yeah, I just keep it bookmarked. I'm just going to wait for it to come. You're not getting my email address.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I like it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are certain places in the world I'd like to be able to see webcams and stuff like that without having to go through multiple different channels to try and find them. So if there are places in the world I want to have a look at and there's a live webcam, like, I don't know, top of Big Ben in London,
right?
You have to try and find the right site for it. So this is a great idea.
Right. And I know that there are like people like my sister-in-law's husband's friend is what they call, like at work, we have a lady we call a holster sniffer. She chases cops. This guy is he was a hose. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember what my wife called him. He was like a hose yanker or something, where he won't stop on his app following emergency fire stuff going on. Oh, the truck's leaving. And he will literally run out, jump in his truck and go out and find the fire truck and be like, hey, and like follow behind it. There's all kinds of people, don't they? All kinds of people. So I'm sure there's also people who literally just want to sit around and watch this one camera outside of Dunkin' Donuts and just watch it. You know what I mean? So yeah, this app, I guarantee you, will get plenty of downloads when it hits live.
It is like Idiocracy, isn't it? Like, this is the ass movie all over again.
Well, this guy also drinks a lot of, I want to say it's natural light. And he's like 20 something and he's a crane operator, which ain't, requires at least some skill, And I'm like, and you chase fire trucks? Like, is your friend on? I'm thinking, is one of your friends on them? Do you like dogs, Dalmatians? I don't know.
You like bags?
Yeah, but no, that's just what he does.
You like films about gladiators?
Exactly. And then my sister-in-law's husband won't stop listening to weather stuff. Oh, there's a storm coming. Oh, the clouds are coming. I'm like, okay.
People are strange.
Yeah.
Well, as George Carlin said it best. What do you say, Dor?
People are idiots. I don't know.
Now think about how dumb the average American is, and then realize that half of them are dumber.
Yep, literally. I mean, we all got our own thing. Mine is I like flashy keyboards,
like RGB keyboards. Yeah.
Do you ever strip down your underwear and dance to the beat of your keyboard?
No.
Okay, I'm out. That's it. I'm gone. What?
It was a legitimate question, Ivor. It's just,
I'm sure it was.
In the name of science.
I mean, I really like my keyboard.
Okay, well, here's another app. On that note, wow, this is going to be really boring in comparison. This is called Statista Daily Data. It's by Statista Incorporated. So basically what this does is it gives you a nice little, I don't know, I suppose it's like an Instagram for statistics. It'll give you information and nice little graphical squares that tell you facts about the world and what's going on. And there's quite a few interesting things in there you can find out. It's a good little thing to check while you're on the toilet or something, or while you're unblocking your toilet. So yeah, basically what it does is it just feeds you interesting statistical information like knowledge nuggets, they call them. to enhance your intellect and your knowledge of the world. And they call it daily data because you get the data. So Statista is a kind of a statistical group company that sucks in data from all over the world, and this is one way it uses to present it. It's a free app. 4.5 over 285 reviews, 100,000 downloads, rated 3+. So I don't get this E for everyone thing that Door gets. We get this 3+. So I don't know what a 3-year-old is going to be doing looking at this, but if he wants to, this is good. Good for them. So about this app, well, what does it do? Data-driven insights, giving you deeper understanding of the world's most important topics every day. So if you are interested in a particular topic, you can save it as a favorite and look up different facts and figures and wonderful things about those sorts of things. It also has videos, so you can watch videos. So it's also not only the Instagram of statistics, it's the TikTok of statistics. Check it out if you're bored and got a few minutes to spare. You can find out some pretty interesting facts about the world.
Very cool, very cool. I've seen apps like this before, but the ones I saw, all they were like a daily infographic, which is really nothing more than like a big poster with lots of text on it. I like this just because it's offering more types of information besides just, like infographs or like graphic graphs.
And you've got a choice about the kind of information you can look at. That doesn't spoon feed you what you must see. And yeah,
gotcha.
I'll check it occasionally.
So I'm going to gather this is the kind of app where it's like purposely designed for you every day to launch it for X number of minutes, and that's it. Not like a death scroll.
Yeah. Oh, you could sit there all day and doom scroll on it if you wanted to.
Well, yeah, but then tomorrow you won't be able to doom scroll.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you have 5 or 6 pieces of statistics, and then it'll go through the previous day and the previous day. So there's a new set every day, basically.
Gotcha. Very cool.
So I'm going to bring an old app. Old in the fact that it's a board game. It's called the World Game. And we've been playing it for a few months now with meals. And it's the board is a map of the world, and each country each continent has its own color, and then the outlines of the countries. And then there are playing cards, or the cards, which are every country in the world has their own card, and on the card it has the number which corresponds with the map, as the name of the country, the capital city, an image of the flag, the area, population, GDP per capita, the highest point, and the neighboring countries. And we've kind of created our own games to go with it. But it's if you want to teach your kids about world geography and what are the sociology or social economics of the world, it's quite fun. And we have a 5-year-old and he loves it. And
that's right. It's even got New Zealand as well.
It does. And you know what? Solomon can pick out the flag too.
Experience a new geography
excellent.
Board game.
Oh yeah,
The World Game.
He's pretty good at it. And you know what? After playing this for so long, I think I could probably pick out 90% of the country's flags, or of the world's flags, from Vanuatu to Burundi to Cyprus. So it's it's quite fun and educational as well. I can tell you that the country with the highest GDP per capita in the world, do you guys want to take a guess?
Well, Hong Kong's not its own country.
It's Monaco.
So,
Monaco's number 2.
Oh, Lithuania. No, was it? No.
You got it. I think you know what you're thinking, but it's definitely not Lithuania.
No, it's
It's Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
Yes.
$180,000. per capita.
Per capita. Wow. That's a lot.
Off of what?
Off of international banking scams. I don't know.
Oh,
banking,
I don't know.
yeah.
I thought you were going to say child sex trafficking. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's probably goes through there too. But
Oh.
then, yeah,
Potato,
then
potato.
Monaco- But it's crazy just to see the, Qatar and those ones too.
Right.
Are up there in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right.
Norway's
UAE.
9,000. Ireland's 101.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ireland makes good money.
Australia's
I can
pretty
say
good.
that.
I think
Yeah,
Australia's
Australia's
third or something in the OECD.
49. United States at 76,000 per capita, which was pretty surprising as well. But yeah, and you can do stuff like that where we would bid on how many categories you're going to win. So you go 1, 2, 3, and then I think I'm going to take area and population. Blah blah blah. Anyway, it's a fun game to get you off your phone. Ha! I'm anti-Android addicts.
Well, you could
Only
use your
$40.
phone
Yeah,
to like cheat and look stuff up. I'm just saying.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't an Android version.
I was actually just looking at something called Global, Globle, and it's guess the country. I'm gonna install that right now. See, I do install apps.
So what it seems like is when Switzerland got caught doing all the negative banking stuff, the banking stuff moved from Switzerland to Liechtenstein.
Yeah, or Monaco, or any of those other random, such small nation states.
Where they're
So,
easily controlled. Yeah.
The smallest country in the world? Any
Oh, there's
guesses?
a couple of really small ones, man. I'm gonna guess it's an island.
It's not. Well, it's an island inside of a country.
New York. No, wait. I don't know.
Think the Pope.
Oh, Vatican
No,
City.
Vatican City.
Vatican City,
Yeah.
0.17 square miles.
Yeah. Just makes it easier to bomb,
Not that we condone this.
Well, my grandfather did have to sneak into this country because he was on the IRA's wanted list. But I digress. You know what I didn't realize? Ever since this country, United States, was founded, we've always been an anti-immigrant country for whoever's immigrating right now, yet everybody in the country is an immigrant. I mean, we have to be the king of hypocrisy. I'm just saying.
Everyone is a hypocrite, though.
I guess. I don't know.
You come to expect it.
I just know
Anyway,
I like immigrants into this country because it means if they're paying taxes, I pay less taxes, and they're also doing the jobs I don't want my kids to do. I don't want my kids to pull crops by hand. I don't want my kids to clean toilets. I don't want my kids to, work at fast food joints.
I do. I want my kids to do all that stuff before they get a real job.
Well,
they learn how miserable the world is first.
yeah, their first job
They
is
wanna
always
go
going to be
back to it.
garbage. Yeah. I worked in fast food, and I just remember how everything was greasy. I mean,
Yeah.
everything. And even when you went to the
Yeah, I used to
bathroom,
work
you had
at
to
a
watch
chicken
your
shop as
step.
well. Yeah.
'Cause everything was just covered in grease.
I used to work at a fried chicken joint, and I would finish my shift just covered in grease
Mhm.
and burns and exhausted, and it was horrible. And we're dealing with these big vats of oil
Mhm.
that are in a pressure cooker oil, and you make one mistake with those things, the whole bloody building's going to
Yeah.
blow up.
Huh? Yeah.
It's the people working there weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, if you know what I mean.
Oh, no.
So yeah, including
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, present company included.
Yeah.
Surprised it didn't blow the whole place up.
Yeah. So one of my fast food things, I worked the overnight shift. So we would close and lock the doors at like midnight, but we would let the homeless people in because the deal was we're going to feed you coffee all night. And if someone tries to rob us, you're going to run out there and you're going to like, do whatever. Throw shit at their windshield. I don't care. You're going to do something. Okay. But then we got reprimanded because at 3 a.m. when we changed over from dinner to breakfast, we would give them the dinner food because it's going to go in the trash. So then I got reprimanded for that. So then I said, fine, you can reprimand me. Deal with the homeless people. We're going to keep feeding you coffee through the drive-through window. And then at 3 o'clock, I'm going to walk out with 2 trash bags. One trash bag I'm going to throw from like 40 feet away, as far as I can possibly be away, and get it in that dumpster. And the other bag I'm going to set down right next to the dumper. And that bag I set down is going to have all the food in it. You take it, you do whatever you want. And honestly, every time that somebody tried to rob us, when they saw like 16 homeless people coming out of nowhere, man, they go bolted every time.
So you actually people tried to rob your shop.
Oh yeah, Glenn Burney, man, Glenn Burney, aka Glenn Burnout, where childhood crime and teenage pregnancy reign supreme.
Oh, Capital World, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then I realized, wait a minute, I could actually work a little bit harder and get a better job. Peace.
Do better at school.
Well, no, that was never going to happen. Okay.
That was never going to happen. No. Silly me.
Yeah. Like my oldest son, part of the reason he didn't go to college was because he figured out mathematically how to pass school with the lowest possible grades ever. So he graduated high school with a 1.2 GPA. So yeah, of course, no college wants him at all. So then he took the military test. The average score on the military test is 50. The Army guy told us, I have people coming here scoring 20 all the time. My son scored a 70, which meant basically almost any job in the Air Force he could take. So at least he's not a complete moron.
So he's not going to end up being a podcaster.
I hope not. No, he wants to be a VR something. I don't know.
Should we rename this podcast 3 Old Men Yelling at Clouds?
Well, we could start a second podcast that we only do every 2 months.
Yeah, 3 months. Yeah, biannual podcast.
Well, we've got a lot of pent up old person frustration here from last time we talked.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I tell you about the PCP?
Yeah, mine hasn't arrived yet. Hasn't arrived in the mail yet.
No, it was one of those nights, it's 3 a.m, can't go to sleep. So I stopped and thought, if I were to start a food truck up, I know how to make ribs that fall off the bones where you come up, you can order your ribs, and within like 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, I can give you those ribs fall off the bone, bang. I have the technique down, and I have the chicken wings down, buffalo wings down. You can order 10, 20, 30, 40, and literally take less than 3 minutes, and boom, there's your wings. Again, fall off the bone kind of thing. But then I thought I have to have a third protein. So I thought, what about if I figure out the right pork chop technique, and then I cook them, then meal prep them kind of thing, cut them up into cubes, kebab them, and then when someone orders them, boom, 30 seconds or in the deep fryer, so I can have them also 1 or 2 minutes out the door. And what I did was I took pork chops and I crusted the entire outside of the pork chop with ranch powder, not ranch dressing, ranch powder and garlic powder, and I sous vide them, because in the sous vide you're only supposed to cook them for 2 hours at minimum. I cooked those things for 6 hours. And you could take a butter knife and just cut right through it kind of thing. I thought I could take them, sous vide them, pat them dry, put them in the refrigerator, and whenever someone orders them, just screw them up, drop them in the deep fryer. A minute later, all crusty goodness. And calling them PCP would just make more people want to buy them because they're pork chop pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've been eating a lot of venison lately. Man, it's so good. Got a friend of ours who's a hunter. He's a professional hunter. He goes out hunting, and he's got his freezers just stacked full with venison. And things he's killed. And yeah, he has 3 backstraps and
Oh,
some lines.
that's a good friend.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff.
What else is there to hunt there besides sheep?
Birds.
A lot of goat.
Oh.
A lot of goats. Goats are a problem. Deer are a problem. We don't have any natural predators, so these things just explode when they get into the bush. Yeah.
What kind of goats?
Rabbit.
Domesticated?
I don't know. Bloody goats.
Mountain goats.
I bloody hate goats. Bloody stupid things. Anyway.
Oh, they're the creepiest looking creature on earth.
Oh yeah.
It's like their eyes are just dead inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our neighbor used to have a lot of goats. He would go hunting occasionally, and instead of killing the goats, he would bring them home and put them in his paddock next door, and they would always get out and come and eat my trees. So I hate goats.
Yeah, you could leave little bowls of antifreeze around for them. Tastes real sweet.
That's good. The dog might get hold of it.
Oh well, yeah, that's not good.
What kind of dog you got now, Josh?
On the good side is you only do it once.
Yeah, you only do it once. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on that dog.
Did you ask me a question, Ivor?
Yeah, what you got? You mentioned you got a dog. What is it?
No, I was just talking about the dog lapping up the toilet to clean it out for me.
Yeah, but what kind of dog have you got? You said you got a new dog.
I lied.
Oh, you lied. Okay.
I made up a story.
I thought you were serious. Sorry.
Yeah, my whole life is a lie, and there's nothing about me that that's the truth. This isn't even a real bedroom. This is all VR.
Right. Well, and I'll say that's the other kind of scam that my mother-in-law was shocked that one of her friends fell for. Dog prices have skyrocketed in like the last 10 years. So the latest thing is you find a dog seller on Facebook, and of course it's not right next to you, and you contact them and you have to make a down payment. Then after the down payment, well, the dog needs this veterinary thing done. Oh, but then we're going to travel across state lines, so you got to pay for these extra shots for it. Then you got to pay like $2,000 transportation fee, and then the dog never comes because the dog doesn't exist, and you just got scammed. And my mother-in-law is like, I don't understand how people can fall for these scams. She says, just because something is on the internet, all these people just believe it like they're idiots. Yeah, because she got a scam text message from our DMV saying you need to verify your information by clicking here, kind of thing. And I'm not clicking that. And she showed it to me. I sent it to Maryland Department of Transportation and Security guy, and he says, we've already blacklisted that URL. The company helped us out. So now even if she clicks it, it's just going to go to a 404. I said, well, where was it going to before? He said to a PDF that when you download, basically installed a APT, an advanced persistent threat on iPhones. To which I asked him, can I get a copy? He didn't like me asking him that question because I know he had a copy. There's no doubt.
You seen the guy who rear-ended you?
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I forgot. You need to fill this out. Very cool.
I was just looking at the goats that Eric posted. I'm assuming those were goats. The tar, the wapiti, and the chamois. Those are apparently goats that New Zealand has.
I thought the wapiti was a deer.
Well,
I don't know.
Anyway.
I just know that, the goat's eyes and like horse's eyes have the ability to rotate.
Yeah.
And you should be able to do that, but because they're predators, when they go put their head down to eat, their eyes have to rotate and remain horizontal with the plane to see stuff come to kill it.
Yeah, well, that's why you ever see an animal with eyes on the side of its head?
Yeah. Like my son. Wait, no. No. Like rabbits.
Yeah, I shoot the occasional rabbit and the magpie.
If you cook it right, it's delicious.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're
I
greasy,
should
but
have
you
a
got to
go
cook
at
them
it.
right.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fat on the rabbit.
No.
Borrow some of mine.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do an app rundown there, Josh?
Sure. Let's see if I can do that. We're talking about the Rabbit R1 and Humane AI pin, and then the ESDE front end emulation station desktop edition, the Nokia 6300 and the Nokia 8000. And then Android's Find My Device Network and free game findings by Stupid You. That's pretty funny. Ruler by X Alpha Labs. Hero of the Kingdom 3 by Lonely Troops. Tux Math by Africalan. Real World, which is by Real World, I guess. Statista Daily Data by Statista Inc. The World Game. Get out there and play a board game. And we touched at least 13 or 14 rails. I can't speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure Ivor was doing rails, so I don't know what's going on.
Several.
So yeah, I think that's the entirety of it.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have any parting words of wisdom there, Ivor?
Oh, no, not really. Just keep an eye out and send us some email about the apps that you're using. I'm trying to abandon email. I was interested. I kind of just thought about it now. I want to get rid of my email address and all my emails. I want to use something else for communication. It's wondered if you guys had any ideas about what I could do in that regard. You guys still using emails a lot, or?
I could load a BBS up server and you could connect to that.
BBS.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, without email,
Noster.
Except for Nostr, the only other thing I think is XMPP, like Pigeon.
Well, yeah, I mean, all I get at the moment from my emails is advertising. I have one email address that I use for all my crap, and that's just advertising and stuff I don't need, bills, which I suppose I should pay sometime. I think there must be a better way.
The reason I'm almost willing to go with Josh and say Nostr is because I don't want to say any single application, whether it's Threema, Signal, or anything else, because if that application goes away, where are you going to go? With Nostr, it's a protocol, and it's not owned by a billionaire who's shooting rockets into space, so that's a plus. I'm sure there will be, or I'm sure there has to be like a gateway service from Nostr to other things, right?
Yeah, there's bridges.
Yeah.
For the metaverse at least, and Twitter too, I think.
Right. So I'll say if the listeners out there have any ideas, send us in. Because there's what you just asked a really big question. I don't know.
How about ham radio?
Hammy.
Well, Eric's got a really good suggestion. I could write something on a piece of paper and walk it around to the person I want to give it to.
That definitely works. You can fold it up.
I could use the postal service. I could use the mail.
But then it will never get here.
Would say that Eric had a good idea.
Yeah. So Josh, do you have any parting words?
No, it's good to get back on here. Go outside, enjoy nature wherever you can find it. Get out there, even if you live in the city. Go out and do some guerrilla gardening. Go plant some tomatoes somewhere in a parking lot, or in a green belt, or just in a municipality, like a court building or something outside,
Mhm.
go plant some seeds in with their inedible plants that are growing there.
Right.
So yes, guerrilla. Maybe there's an app for that. Maybe there's a guerrilla gardening
I almost guarantee you there is.
where you can put something like, oh, I planted some tomatoes here or cucumbers there, and then
Right.
you can.
Well, since urban camping is gaining popularity, maybe it's urban. See, because urban gardening, I don't think is close enough, but guerrilla gardening sounds better. I don't know. Very cool idea, and I'm sure there's an app for that. I'll just say, whenever you can, buy shiny, pretty keyboards, and whenever you're bored, you just look at them. And OpenRGB is a great application. A lot of these keyboards don't support every operating system to do customization with the RGB capabilities of the keyboard. OpenRGB works on every platform and has many plugins to where you can download all kinds of styles and all kinds of effects and put them on your keyboard just like it should do. But I didn't have to download the company's software. And it works even on RGB fans in computers, RGB lights you have on like Wi-Fi networks and everything. You can literally like sync all of your devices up to be doing the same pattern, the same colors, the same whatever's all at the same time. OpenRGB. Love it. I already gave them some money too. With that, I want to thank everyone for their ongoing, continued, relentless support. And I definitely want to thank Ivor and Josh for putting up with me and continuing to show up to this thing that we do. And what the hell is that?
The circus. Yes.
Well, it could be worse. At least we get paid by the hour. And with that, thank everyone again. We will talk to everyone again really, really soon. Stream, and then I say, I gotta pee. I even told somebody at work the other day, we were in like an hour meeting, and I literally went out like twice. I said, look, I'm Irish and I got a small bladder. I'm cursed. My God has besmirched me. Get away.
And I've got a sunburn.
Yeah.
.601, aren't we? How long do you think it's going to take Door to get the files
Sorry,
edited this time?
What's that?
How long do you think it's going to take Door to get the files edited this time?
Man, it's crazy. If I take off my my headphone on the left side, I can't even hear you out of my right ear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Is that because you're deaf?
It's been plugged for like 2 weeks, man. It's crazy.
I'm using my hearing aids right now. They're really good.
Oh, nice for this.
Yeah, through the computer because they're
nice. Wow.
Because they connect via Bluetooth to the machine, to the laptop. So I run all my audio through the hearing aids. Works really well.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Except when you leave the room and they disconnect and you have to take your hearing aids out, put them back in the case, and then put them back in again if you want them to repair.
Sweet.
So did you have a look at that document I sent you at all?
Which one's that?
About
your property?
My property, yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it when you sent it, whenever that was. But yeah,
You've been busy. That's fine. I just wondered if you had a look at it yet.
No, I did, and I will look at it again someday. But yeah, no, I think it'd be fun to look into it and work with you on it.
Yeah, the thistles are a big problem, man. We've got to get rid of those thistles.
Yeah, well, you have sheep, right? How many sheep do you have?
3.
Do they won't eat the thistle?
No, I won't touch it.
No. You need some goats, man.
No, not getting goats.
So here's the question I'm going to ask you guys. As of right now, because of this show, I'm now 4 episodes behind in publishing. I have
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
I have 598 completely done, post-produced, waiting to be put onto the website. I'm not sure I have all of the audio from 599. I do think I have 600, but I'm not sure I have 599.
I think I sent it to you.
One,
Yeah.
I know, but
You're talking specifically to Ivor here.
oh, I'm talking honestly to both you guys, because I think what happened was one time, Josh, you sent it to me, but in Voxer, and I completely messed up. But you did send me that link to whatchamacallit, pCloud. So if that still works, I should still be good. Now that I say that out loud, I had to mentally go through hoops.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? My documents file or no, maybe documents. No, it's done. Music and pictures all disappeared on Linux Mint. They just everything that was in there is just gone.
I blame the Irish Jew hating guy.
Linus Torvald? Who are we talking about?
No, Clem.
Oh.
The guy behind Linux Mint.
Oh, Clem, you bastard.
I don't understand how an Irish guy can say bad stuff about Jewish people when it wasn't that long ago. Irish people weren't allowed into America because they were seen as worthless drunks who couldn't do anything right. And all they did was eat potatoes. You know, why would you speak bad about other cultures? You know, I don't get that. I don't want politics in with my Linux. Period.
I'm just checking back on the old episodes, the sound files that I've got, and I'm missing 599.
Worst case scenario, I can pull it off of YouTube. Worst case scenario, and then it's perfectly okay if that's what I do, because I'd rather ship something than nothing.
I've got if you can get into that pCloud file, there's 96, 97, 98, 99. And
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And I'm so lazy, I think I'm going to pay my oldest son to put together the new computer. Bonus, if he messes it up and breaks something, he has to buy it. Well, the last time I looked, he had like 2,000 in his bank account. You got more money than me. What are you doing? You're supposed to be an American, a good American, and spend your money, not save it. What's wrong with you? You got to support the president and the economy and spend money.
Yeah, who cares about inflation?
Inflation, smuflation. It's all a dream. But I finally met somebody who actually understood what causes inflation. And because I've been listening to tons of economics books from Adam Smith up. And I met one guy who said what I think is the real cause of inflation. And that is people believe there's inflation. And
the same thing. People believe money. So
right. Well, yeah.
Believe there's
and then they overreact, and then they start to hoard something. And when they start to hoard something, it becomes a scarcity and the price goes up. Because now it's so much desired because of these wackos thinking it's scarce, they can inflate the price even more. And it's like, yeah, that's what it is. It's people believing.
Well, it's not scarcity, though. It's the opposite of scarcity. Inflation is the fact that you have a country that prints trillions of dollars.
Oh, no. Scarcity in goods, not money. You have an overflow of money, but
not enough goods.
A shortage of goods.
Or plenty of goods, but just a worthless cash. Like
always shortage of goods. Shortage of goods.
To collapse, man. There's no chance. The United States is an empire just like any other empire, and it's showing all of the signs of a collapse. You look at the Roman Empire, it's it's the same thing. It's uncontrolled. It's uncontrolled immigration. It's depravity or whatever depravity.
Depravity. Yep.
Yeah, depravity with sexual conduct or anything else that is going on. And it's a fiat currency. I mean, it's I don't know how you can print trillions of dollars. Like, it's just not a thing. There's no chance to be able to pay it off.
Well, the good thing is we don't have
The
to pay it off.
barbarians are at the door.
We owe ourselves the money. We're not going to kick in our own door to get the money. But on the bright side, 80% of the founders who signed the initial document swore I don't even know why I'm doing this. This country's not going to exist in 18 months. In 2 years, this is all going to blow up.
Which document was that?
The Constitution. 80% of them swore this is a waste of my time because the country's going to blow up. There's no way this is going to work.
The Constitution is kind of nonsense when it comes down to it as well. I mean, you have how many people was it? 13 or 20 or however many signed the Constitution, and they're not elected officials. They're just dudes that got together and wrote this document and then signed it for an entire country.
Yeah, founders, just
while
like
stepping on the Articles of Confederation, which was the actual, like, made sense to where every state has its own, or colony has its own.
That's
its own
why
rules.
Right. That's why this was supposed to be a federalist country, which meant the states had all the powers and the federal government was just there to organize people to communicate and do stuff together. I mean, there was no taxes or anything.
It's grown out of control.
Well, power begates more power.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem, is that it just gets so top heavy that you're just crushing people. Like, laws, taxes. What do you need to put into a 30,000 page bill that goes through Congress? It's not necessary. It's not.
I got to put something in there so that guy who helps me can get his back waxed for free.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to look out for my homies.
Yeah.
I know. What are they always called? Something fat back or something.
It's pork barrel. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Where it's just pointless stuff being put in there just because I can get it in.
Yeah, well, then they call the bill like Save the Children bill, and then
No. It's always somebody's name. It's the Dorothy Light bill because this was an innocent child who died needlessly, and this bill is going to help save children. And if you vote it down, well, you don't like children.
That's right. Never mind the $30 million that's going to Yemen for gender studies.
Yeah, the Trump supporter I know was really mad when I pointed out, Biden started building the wall back, right? Trump started the tariffs. Now Biden says he wants to triple them. So, they're kind of alike.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter who's in.
They just spend.
Well, but they shouldn't have that much power anyway. The president of the United States should not have the power that people think that
they're not supposed to
have.
He isn't supposed to. But every president slowly expands their power with executive orders. Yada 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 yada.
Have you ever?
I'm telling you, we need Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson. It came out the party, I can't remember what it's called now. The No Labels party asked him to be their candidate and run for president. His answer was no, because my children are too young. We need somebody like him. Honestly, I hate to say it, somebody like him to run for office, just because I get the distinct impression he wouldn't be close to as bad as what I've seen in my life. Just because he's truly a self-made man, truly, to know, his dad was a wrestler, but he wasn't, millionaire, nothing. Truly self-made man, worth a crap ton of money. And every time I see or hear from him, somebody who actually met him is like a super nice guy. Fine, let him run for fucking president. I don't care. What's the worst he could do? Kill daylight savings time. Oh wait, no, I want that to happen.
Have you ever read the creature from Jekyll Island?
The Creature from Jekyll Island. No, but it sounds good. Good name.
Yeah, it's the what is it? The byline is like looking back at the creation of the Federal Reserve, and so it goes into how it was even founded, and that it has nothing to do with federal, and that it's
nothing.
It was created by bankers, and
Yes,
that's what it
elite
is.
bankers. Yeah. And to be honest, and here's the thing, you know what I mean? Perfection is unobtainable. Let's first say that. I almost like the fact that the Federal Reserve is not elected officials, is not party specific. So their only intention is to try to make sure we don't have another recession like they did, because they messed it up back when it happened. In 5-year time span, 33% of the physical money disappeared from the country, which helped the recession kick off, the shortage of money. But yeah, they got to stop printing money. They've stopped printing money now. We still have now, I want to say it was 18% more money than we had in 2022, which already was 20% more money than we ever had in circulation by 2019. So for the last 5 years, they've been literally just printing money. And supposedly this is the year they slow down, which is why we're going to see a little bit of a recession is when your neighbor loses his job. A depression is when I lose my job.
You use your job.
Yeah. I heard that line. I'm like, that sounds pretty true to me.
Yeah, but that's
the other line I like was the more I learn about people, the more I like horses.
True.
Yeah, but I can't agree with you though on the unelected officials, nonpartisan. I mean, it's
the Federal Reserve. It isn't Republican or Democrat.
You can't fire them. You can't vote them out.
Good.
They're not. Yeah, but no. How is that good?
When has voting solved anything? We vote in retards.
Well, it doesn't matter. These are appointed bankers.
No, they're not appointed. They're not appointed bankers. No, you're wrong. They're bankers who worked their way up through the system and had friends promote them.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, which means
they're bankers that know how to play the game.
Yes, that's what I want in that job. Just like if I'm watching NASCAR, I want someone who's really good at driving a car in there.
Yeah, but that's not what
I don't want some jackass who got voted into office driving a NASCAR. He'll kill somebody.
They are good at being.
Can I give you an example of why it's a good idea to have the Federal Reserve or the Reserve Bank, as we call it, as independent? So back in the 70s, our government ran the Reserve Bank. They controlled the money supply. The money supply was partisan, and we had this one prime minister who's a finance minister as well as prime minister, and he completely screwed it up. We had the oil shock and everything. He just printed money. We had massive inflation. We had inflation going and interest rates going right through the roof. It was almost Weimar Republic. The country was virtually bankrupt. We had to vote in a bunch of socialists in 1984 to introduce a whole bunch of free market measures. And then one of the things they did was they implemented the independence of the Reserve Bank. So it couldn't be controlled by politicians to further their short-term political goals by printing money to do whatever they wanted to do. Now, corrupt as it may be, I think there is merit in having an independent reserve bank. Well, if you're going to have a reserve bank,
everything is corrupt.
Right there, if you're going to have a reserve bank, I'm not fighting for the
then who do you want to control the money? Because somebody's going to control the money.
No, that's what free markets look like. That's what you do. Like,
somebody always controls the money.
Inflation. It's built into the fiat money system that at 2%.
Oh, you don't want a fiat money system. That means you got to spend billions of dollars digging out gold to make more money.
No, this is what we're on a fiat. We're on a fiat money system. That's a gold based.
I thought that was the opposite way. Oh yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. Had it backwards. Right. 1920 was when it first started. We got off and became a true fiat country in 78.
No, it was 1970. Yeah,
Yeah, I
when
think.
Richard
Yeah,
Nixon had banned the gold standard.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my logic. Everything will always be corrupt. Everything will always be corrupt. The question is, do they have self-sufficiency in mind, or do they have personal interest in mind? And every politician seems to only have personal interest in mind. They'll pass a helmet law in the state of Maryland as long as their buddy owns a helmet factory that sells helmets in the state of Maryland, kind of thing. They're always doing that kind of
Like
crap.
that? You don't think bankers are like that?
Bankers want the banks to make more money.
Yes,
And
but
thing is-
I put my money in a bank, so I want my money to make money.
it's coming from you though.
No.
It's a
You
case
don't-
of
Fiat money happens because I put money into the bank. When I put money into the bank, that creates money out of whole
Yep.
cloth. You know that, right? Yes, it does. It's absolutely, you're completely wrong. Completely wrong. For every dollar I put in the bank, a dollar gets created out of whole cloth that the bank makes out of fresh, thin air.
It's
That's
a-
the way fiat
it's
money
debt-
works.
It's a debt-based fiat system. The
it's
money is
debt-based, yeah.
created when people take out loans.
Nope,
So when
wrong.
somebody
When you deposit money, not loans. When you
Nope.
deposit money,
you deposit money, but
which
what
is
the
why
bank does with that money is it
FDIC
leans
has
it
a
out.
maximum $250,000
over.
limit, because when you deposit money, it creates money. Loans don't create money. Debt doesn't create money. Deposits make money.
Okay, I don't think that's
Why
I
would
don't
me giving you money make me money? It costs me money.
because that's
It
the
costs me
way-
money to track it. It costs me money to get it. And then when you don't pay it, it costs me money to get it.
Dora is partially right.
that you can
But
make
no,
so-
I'm absolutely right. I spent
No, you're not.
years studying economics. When you give me money,
I spent years working for a bank.
haven't you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life? Well, your money isn't here, Jack. Your money's over in Trisha's house. Because when you give a bank money, you're trusting that bank. That bank then takes the money, splits it, gives it, and they literally invest it in other stuff while they hold a reserve for you. Their hope is you never come and get all your money. Because if
So
you
if you give a bank $100, it will lend out 1,000
It-
to somebody else.
Right.
And that is how the money creation process happens.
yes, you
It's
give a
by
bank
through debt.
money, it creates money.
But it needs to have your $100 first before it can lend out any more. So you're partially right. The money creation process does depend on deposits, but it's exponentially driven by debt.
Well, it relies on debt as a measure of future money. But that's not how it makes money. That's how it gains value because of future money promises. Which is why when we had the housing crisis in 2008, we were giving everybody loans for $1 million houses when they couldn't pay it.
Yep.
That's why that happened, because we were giving people too much debt when they didn't deserve it, kind of thing. And it's just like, this is why subscription fees have taken over the world. The promise of future money is so alluring to business, so alluring. You can be a one-time fee, fine, that's great. But if I can turn to my investors and say, I have 200,000 people giving me $5 a month, it's worth gold. Gold. And if it wasn't for loans, I mean, we would be like Arab countries in the Middle East.
The Middle Ages. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have
Middle Ages, yeah.
we'd have dirt.
But
hut
the
house.
question, it comes down to the question, who do you want in charge of the money supply? Do you want politicians in charge of the money supply, or do you want civil servants in charge of the money supply? Why can't we have somebody else in charge of it? Why can't we have other people in charge? Why can't you and I be in charge of it? So that we can actually have a say in how money is created and how the economic system works.
Well, that, and thanks to the miracle, in air quote, of compound interest. 150 years ago, 90% of the world was in abject poverty. We are at an all-time statistically low, where we are every day it's something like 80,000 people escaped abject poverty into actual poverty, and at least can make something. And it's because of stuff like compound interest, to where you can take money, you can save money, and if you save it the right way, when it comes out of the bank, it's miraculously more money. Because when you deposit the money, the bank can take it, reinvest it, and they share the profits with you. Granted, they become rich, stinking rich. Yeah, somebody always has to become rich, unless you want a socialism where nobody's rich.
Yeah.
And then no one wants to work, and no one wants to better themselves, and no one wants to clean up the poop from the, horse barn. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. I'm all in favor of equality of opportunity. I want everybody to be afforded the opportunity to, if you want, bust your ass, make your money, make your living, make somebody else happy, make yourself happy, and maybe when you die, you have something to give somebody else.
After they take 60% inheritance tax.
Yeah.
I don't like inheritance tax. I will say that. I'm really against inheritance tax. I want my family and who I designate to get money. And the truth is, at least in America, we are the most affluent country in giving our money away when we become stinking rich. We just literally give it to everybody. And then I heard this. I don't know if this is true. I haven't had time to check it out yet. People talk about how Sweden is so whatever, and America is so bad. There are technically more billionaires per person in Sweden than there is in America. I heard that. I haven't had time to check it out. But I'm like, really? You're telling me? Because I know when Sweden had the big, huge tax thing, and they had swarms of people leaving the country, and industries like Evergreen, Merzak, IKEA, all these companies leaving the country, then they reversed their position to be a more, in air quote, normal tax standard. And then their like economy shot up like a rocket, just like New Zealand once they decided to go free market. It's the invisible hand that
Yeah, well, as soon as you get government out of people's lives, things go better.
Yeah, I mean, the other example is Chile. Chile was dead. I mean, it was almost not even a country anymore. And then they introduced free market economies where the government gave up control over this industry, gave up control over that industry, and let people run it instead of government. Because the government, I mean, honestly, the only thing the government can do right is spend money, in my experience. And I beg for smaller government. My God, I want less government everywhere. Granted, people can be bought off, people can be corrupt too, but government employees are just lazy. No one can spend your money better than you. Government spends money, they don't care. Honestly, you don't know how many times in my career I've heard, it ain't my money. And every time, man, I'm blowing up on you. You say that in a meeting in front of me, I am blowing up on you to the point where I've nearly been fired for saying things to people who said that.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is. It's my money. It's your money. It's everybody's money, dumbass. Yeah. Government, man. Phew. They're good at spending money and wasting money and
creating money out of thin air as well.
Oh,
well,
I know you say it's not the
I'm going to
government.
give you a hypothetical situation that may or may not have happened to someone I'm married to when they were working at our capital for a large government department. So this hypothetical situation, of course, they developed a online portal for people to submit bids to get funding. And of course, in this process, what you need to do is attach documents to your application. And this particular portal was rejecting all these documents, and it turned out that it didn't like the fact that the words contained within the documents had the same phrasing or same syntax as the code of the portal itself. And so they asked the people who were trying to use the portal to go through each document that was attached to this application and remove words which you think may be also included in the code that's sitting in the portal application itself.
Oh, man. So it's like they had bad SQL
the whole process
filtering.
Yeah, but the whole process around this was around the implementation of this project was full of nepotism, corruption, incompetence and just outright bullshittery. And it's just I couldn't believe it when I heard about this so-called case.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, and like me and my wife keep going back and forth. She's extremely far left wing, and I keep saying to her, of course I want some measure, something of free healthcare. In quote, free healthcare. But first off, let's stop calling it free healthcare. Nothing's free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. The money's coming from somewhere, number one. But everyone should be afforded some sort of measure of healthcare. Yes, but I don't think government's the one to decide where it starts, where it stops. Because those are rich people who don't understand any common man trials, tribulations, troubles, heartaches, headaches, or whatever. It's so smaller government. Smaller government. That's all I want.
So explain to me the healthcare system in America. Is there free healthcare available to anyone who needs it? Or not?
Well, there's only free available if you are like poor. You make like no money. You make like, I want to say less than $5,000 or $8,000 a year, something ridiculous. Okay, then you can get a certain level of free healthcare, free checkups, free prescriptions, and free dental stuff. But then and this is one of the problems with everything in America as it comes to welfare or type system. You either get money for free or you get nothing. So it incentivizes the people who can only make so much to make less, instead of slowly reducing the amount until they can actually afford real health care. So like my sister-in-law was on the free stuff for a while because her husband, ex-husband, whatever, was a complete junkie piece of crap guy who never paid his money to the kids, never paid anything. She was struggling hard doing stuff like waitressing and stuff, which pays nothing. Literally, the hourly rate for a waitress in Maryland was $2.14. And then you make tips on top of it. So, her kids got certain level of healthcare kind of thing. But most people who get that feel guilty and they don't want to overuse it. They don't want to abuse it kind of thing in reality. Or if you're of a certain age, you get Medicare. And when you're so old, you get free, in air quote, health care. It's not great health care, but you get free health care and you get free prescriptions to a certain degree. Yeah, because like one of the huge misnomers is the average person over the age of 66 only pays like something less than $30 a month for medication, which isn't, I mean, they pay more for cable, pay more for their phone service. They pay more for, their streaming services typically kind of thing. So that's not really one of the issues. But the middle ground, it's once you get a certain amount of money, and if you can't afford the really good healthcare, like me, I got Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's called, where basically I can go anywhere I want, see any doctor I want, and I pay a very low to no amount. And it's like $300 and change a month, but because I'm a government employee, they pay basically half of it, or sometimes all of it. But then I have people who I know who, they work at a place and they have to pay, $1,200 a month for them and their wife to have health care. And they can only go to certain places. They can only talk to certain people. And if they have to go out of that network, they got to pay for each visit like $80. Oh my God. U.S. healthcare is so scrambled is the way I'll put it. When I saw how my dad's healthcare was accepted because he was a Baltimore City cop, I said to myself, that's the healthcare I'm going to have when I have a family. Because otherwise I'm screwed. If something accident happens, where am I getting the money from? You know what I mean? I can't afford a random $1,000 for this because my kid hurt himself.
But that's also, I mean, a big issue with that, as I see it, is the cost of these procedures because of insurance, right? Like it shouldn't cost
Healthcare industrial complex
$1 million
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
But there's
Yeah.
also even more so is the just extreme unhealthiness of
well,
the general population in most westernized
right.
countries,
Well, it's
not
because
just the US.
dare I say, we can afford to is the excuse. But yeah, like 80 cents of every dollar we spend on healthcare doesn't go to the people giving us the service. It
Oh, hell
goes
no.
to this
No.
huge industrial complex in the back doing it all. But yeah, I mean, the reason why Americans die so young is because, I mean, we're fat, dumb, and happy. I mean, I can get a Domino's pizza delivered to my house for $7.99, and it's like 2,000 calories. You know, it's a daily equivalent of a meal, kind of thing. Yeah, we have so much abundant, useless. What's the right word? Not hyper processed food.
Well, it's not food, that's for sure.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Something processed, where it's like
Oh, yeah, hyper processed. Yeah, ultra
crazy,
processed.
Ultra
crazily
processed.
processed food. Yeah,
Hmm.
where we can get it delivered to our door by some guy making minimum wage, and we're fine. And
Hmm.
then we just sit here and we just watch YouTube videos going.
Netflix and chill, buddy.
Yeah.
my
Hey, I got to
my
go. Guys, great to talk to you, but I've got to go and pick up my son from school. So
man.
thanks, guys. Good to do this. Let's do it again
Catch you later.
soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be safe, man. Yeah, it's like my son. I love him. He's so stupid. He paid $30 to have Wendy's DoorDash to our door. I said, dude, I'd have only charged you like 20. What's wrong with you? Too much money. Too much money doesn't and not enough to do with it.
Well, and but it's being groomed from an early age to eat
Oh,
shit
yeah.
food, right?
Oh,
Like, and just to be stagnant
Absolutely.
and
Huh? And our kids are even groomed to think gambling is like normal. Yeah, ultra processed food. Thank you, Michael. But they're also led to believe in school real money doesn't exist. You have this credit account with this number that you give to people and you get food. So when they get older, you know, it's really hard for them to understand money and its value and how to use it, how to save it, how to account for it. So we've made damn sure our sons understand you get an allowance. Here's how you track it. Here's where you trace it. Here's where you can spend it. And then when you run out of it, you got to pay for it, kind of thing. And honestly, we just made my son pay for a new trash can. My youngest son, I said, dude, the trash can's overflowing. He got pissed at me, right? So instead of pushing the trash down in the trash can, he pushed the lid into the trash can, broke the lid. Wife charged him $40. You're buying a new congratulations, you're buying a brand new trash can. So, you know, we try to make sure they understand at least, you know, money expenditures kind of thing. But man, the food they get is garbage. It's literally garbage.
it's all garbage, man. That's the problem.
Well,
It's
it's cheap. To eat healthy
yeah,
always costs
exactly.
more money. It's one thing I can't stand.
but unless you're growing it, you know, that's a problem. Is that
Well-
people could grow at least some vegetables
Well,
and supplement.
what I wished is somebody local in iShot would spend their time and effort growing yada yada, and I would happily pay 20, 30% more to give them the money and buy that stuff because I know where it came from. I know where, you know, all that. It wasn't shipped in using tractor trailers from 300 miles away or whatever.
Or from China. Like most of the garlic
Dude.
sold here is from China.
90% of the
Hell.
food labeled as organic came straight from China.
Yeah.
I heard that. I was like, no way.
Fresh, organic and fresh.
Yes, I know. I had to look it up and I was like, damn it, they're right, man. Yeah, and that was why, at least, I can't remember what it was now. Besides toys, there was something else they were shipping over here that was fresh organic food and it had like unusual amounts of lead. Huh, go figure.
Yeah. It's,
I know. And all my kid wants is chicken nuggets and pizza rolls.
yeah, that's one thing we're lucky that Solomon likes. I mean, we just give him fruits and vegetables and
Dude.
meat.
Fruits are almost like little drugs. They're great.
Yeah. but that's also a lot of sugar. But
It is. Well, at least it's natural
just
sugar.
nugget. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know, man. I know.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing just how. I mean, I wonder what the average body mass index of an American is.
I know. Supposedly, when we Americans, me and my American fellows, go overseas, we're easily identifiable without anything. And I will say there was a trend there for a couple of years. I heard people when they would go overseas, they would wear like Canadian
Oh yeah,
sport
I had one.
teams hats.
I had a flag sewn on my backpack
Right,
when I went around.
Right. So trying to pass themselves off as Canadian, and the
Yeah.
people are like, "Hey, we can tell you're not Canadian. You're too
They
fat,
have
eh?"
to say, hey, like,
Right.
hey, what are you talking about, eh?
Right.
I take offense to that, eh?
Right. Yeah, and I mean,
But that was where I got lucky, is I grew up close enough to the Canadian border that I acquired the accent.
dude, I swear, like half the people I know who grew up within like 200 miles from the border look like they're not Americans. You know, they look like they're actually people who give a crap about themselves. Kind of. And my wife has a friend who moved to the middle of Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, where literally it takes you like 6 hours to get to the hospital.
Or
And-
anywhere.
Yeah, or anywhere. Yeah. And of course, you look at her and she's like, 5'4", 120. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Rub it in.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. I know. I'm like, why would you go to Saskatchewan? She grew up in like right outside of Baltimore, Maryland, and she moves to Saskatchewan. I said, she must hate people. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, that's the prairies of, or part of the prairies of Canada. Just flat.
Flat. And I want to say that was one of the places last year they had crazy fires. Or was that Alberta?
Alberta had, Alberta.
Okay, so it's Alberta. Yeah,
some
I knew it
fires.
wasn't too
I
far
don't
from
think
her.
there's any trees in Saskatchewan. So.
Well, you're right, because she said something about the only life is like 2 inches off the ground. It doesn't get much higher than that, or something like that.
Yeah, and the province of Saskatchewan takes really good care of their tree.
Their tree. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh man, I think I might need to go to Door.
Oh, you trust me, Ken, but I will say, the wife last week set an appointment and we went and we both got passports. Now, let me rephrase that. We applied for passports, which means when I get my passport, then I technically can make my way up north.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like trying to like sneakily plan. No matter what, you're going to have at least an 8-month notification.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Because I definitely want to do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Well, maybe if you could try to plan it around. When is Linux Fest? Must be pretty soon, huh? Northwest.
No. It technically, I believe, just happened. It typically happens last weekend of April.
Okay.
Honestly, it might be happening this week coming up, but it's always this time kind of thing. Always.
Oh man, I had a friend down there that said that I think he was going to go. He told me I should go.
Dude, that was one of the nicest Linux fests I've ever been in. Except for that jerk, that little tiny pecker boy, Chris, and the completely fake goat-loving friend of his. Oh, God, they were so fake. They were so fake. I literally almost strangled them both right there in the front.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of. I would have met them.
Linux Action Show douchebags.
Were they at that party?
They were at the festival, the fest. Yeah. Chris was behind his thing, talking all animated to people like he was on drugs. And then Sheep Boy, Goat Boy, was standing there with his turtleneck and his cardigan sweater thinking, I'm more important than you. And man, I wanted to just jump on them both and just let them know how it felt to have a hyperextension happen on a main vertebrae. Oh, such pieces of crap. Oh, when people ask, whenever I've had anybody ask me, what's the problem with Linux? Why isn't it being more successful? It's people like them trying to represent garbage people. Garbage. You know, it's like, that's why I'm like Groucho Marx. I don't think I can ever be a part of a group that would have me as a member. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick Canadian trivia. From which U.S. city can you travel south and end up in Canada? Oh, I want to say it's right up there by Michigan, by Sault Ste. Marie. It's right. It's not far from Sault Ste. Marie. Oh, wait. I believe it's the one right there by Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, I want to say.
You're talking about not
Because-
Barrie, Ontario. It's in Ontario. It's
Well, I don't know what it is on the other
Windsor.
side of the border, but I know it like hooks around the land, hooks around. And technically, the kids travel over a body of water to get to the school.
Well, I mean, I would also say Juneau or Fairbanks or Homer.
True.
or
That's
Wisconsin.
oh man, you got me there. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, Juneau definitely. But yeah, I think he's thinking of the one. I want to say it's Michigan. I know it's not where. Oh man, the trader, with Benedict was at. Even though that was an island over there, but I don't think travel south to get there. Okay, well, if you need to go, you go, and I'll fill you in on the answer. Eh?
Well, now I'm intrigued.
By the way, you're looking really damn good, man.
Oh,
Detroit.
yeah, because that's Windsor, I believe. Windsor, Ontario is on the other side of Detroit.
Oh God, I just felt like a really dirty Detroit, such a filthy city. Oh God.
Yeah, I've been throwing a shovel around and rocks and logs and stuff like that. Like I feel
Manual labor does it, dude.
I feel much stronger than I have in a while. That's for sure.
Oh, what are you saying? Think you can take me? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
I would never, man.
Oh, but I know. Yeah. Well, you be safe. You be good. Keep spreading the love, man.
Yeah, we'll be in touch for sure. And
yeah.
Thanks everybody in the chat. That's always fun.
Surprisingly good output, considering we haven't been here for a while.
Yeah.
Hell, maybe we need to take another 3-month break.
Oh, it still trips me out though to like watch the comments and then try to figure out with the delay what it's in reference to.
Well, I will say YouTube Live has changed and the interface changed a little bit. Then when I went to go live, when I told it my information, it said, we really suggest you change your settings to be ultra low latency. Quality is down a little bit, but the comments should now come in quicker than normal. Very cool, man.
Cool.
So I'll hopefully have 598 published tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to work on that computer this weekend. And if I get it actually put together, publishing episodes shouldn't be.
I'm not in it for the advertising money, Door.
Oh, no. It isn't about advertising. It's about.
I'm joking.
I know it's about trying to just be consistent, man. That's the one thing, man. That's
Well,
why I'm
you're
shocked.
consistently inconsistent. Does that count?
Oh, no. See, the yin and the yang. You always got to look at the bright side of life. The fact is that we are inconsistent, but we still have people coming out to live shows, and we still have more people downloading this show than a lot of other podcasts, is what I want to say. Don't forget, 80% of podcasts never make it past episode 5. That's a fact.
I know. I've got one lingering in the shadows
Right.
somewhere.
You listen to what's it called, Pod News, right?
No. No.
Oh, it's a quick, like 3 minute a day podcast, but it tells you a lot of interesting stats. And he's very much on the Satori bandwagon. He's very much on the 3.0 bandwagon too. Good information.
Yeah, cool. No,
All right,
I've haven't had a time to, well, with homeschooling and stuff too, like just don't have as much time to listen to podcasts. It's a lot of kid time, which is great.
I know. Trust me, because you ain't never gonna have that chance again, man.
Yeah, and I mean teaching fractions on a tape measure, like doing practical things and having them help me out. It's great.
Fascinating thing about a tape measure. Do you know that when you take a tape measure and the tip and it moves a little bit,
Yeah,
you know that's on purpose, right?
it extended to 1 inch or like
No.
that's
The distance that tip moves is the exact width of that tab sticking out. So if you push it against something, it comes to you and gives you an accurate reading. But if you hang it on something and pull it back, it goes back the width of that tape, that little strip, to give you an accurate reading of that.
Oh, nice.
I learned that and I was like, why didn't I know this? And then I listened to a guy who said, Liam, my buddy Liam, said when he was working as a contractor, the general contractor, the main guy, would take every tape measure and hammer the tape measure down so that thing didn't move. He was like, no wonder everything came out wrong.
Yeah,
Everything.
everything's an eighth of an inch off or a quarter
Exactly,
inch off.
exactly. Crazy stuff, man.
Cool.
All right, dude. Make sure you give your better half a hug.
Yeah, we'll do. Let me know if you. Oh, I don't have $5.99 in there actually.
Well, I have access to the folder.
$600.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
but I just looked at it. $5.99 is not in there. It may have been chewed up by.
I have the $5.99 folder.
Okay, maybe it's. Hopefully you got it.
Oh, I
It's
got a file
not.
not found. Never mind. Oh, okay. I just hit F5 and I'm getting a file not found. So maybe to resend me the link. Don't worry about it. We have dates.
For the whole thing.
Now I hit F5 on the root of filedn.com. Yada yada. AAA, and yeah, file not found. I can say join. If I click join pCloud, of course, it wants me to join. Don't stress.
I'm happy with pCloud though, man. Like it's.
You and I've heard like 3 people who won't shut up about how well it's been working, and not just working for months, but working for years.
Yeah, and it has a backup too, which is standard 30 days, which has actually been pretty nice because I like to do stupid shit when it comes to accidentally deleting folders or my computer's deleting them for me.
I love backups.
So I'll have to check that and see if where $5.99 even went.
Okay.
If it's
All right, dude.
not there, I don't know where it is.
I understand. All right, dude. I'll talk to you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
The only way to take it, dude. Later.
Chat later.